Welcome to Monrovia, the capital of Liberia, a beautiful country on the west coast of Africa. Liberia has many things to offer and is waiting to be explored. Walking through the streets of Monrovia, you will soon discover that there is more to this place than first meets the eye. For most visitors, the adventure starts in Monrovia. The city was founded in 1822 and was the first Black American settlement in Africa that was established from America. Monrovia economy is dominated by its harbor and as the location of Liberia's government offices. Monrovia is a busy, colorful place, and you just can't help loving it, or its beautiful people who are proud of their art, music, culture, and traditions. Rice, cassava, and peppers are important to the Liberian diet. Cassava is processed and made into fufu, domboy, or jibi, and is usually served with soup. With 350 miles of coastal beaches, Liberians have access to plenty of fish, lobster, crawfish, and crabs. When it comes to peppers, Liberians love it hot. The spicier the food, the more they enjoy it.
Everybody likes Saturday night.
Looking for interesting things to do and see in Liberia? Come along.
Everybody likes Saturday night. Sing it! Everybody likes Saturday night. Everybody likes Saturday night. Africans and Asians. Everybody likes Saturday night. Europeans, Americans. Everybody likes Saturday night. Everywhere I go. Everybody likes Saturday night. Everybody likes Saturday night. Weddings and parties. Everybody likes Saturday night. Dancing, romance. Everybody likes Saturday night. Everyone I know. Everybody likes Saturday night. Tout le monde aime samedi soir.
In March 2014, just as Liberia was moving ahead with its post-war reconstruction, the country was...
Chairman, as we all know and aware that Liberia has a very gullible society. When we say gullible society, it's a society that are carried away by reckless on the media. So the press...
Et ma vérité, oh, y'a celle du peuple, oh. C'est la Digoulo d'abord. La pierre rejetée est devenue la principale, oh.
Welcome to the Liberian Radio, and the council and sort of the New England Bureau of the Liberian Thank you for sharing your evening with me. Today is Friday, magazine. All things considered comes your way here, right here. Thank you for being part of this program. And it's good that you are here this evening. So let's get started here, right here at this event. We're going to be bringing you a lot of information here, and we have not had a chance to talk on this since this whole Aaron Costa incident. But I'm here this event, hopefully doing much better as compared to the situation in the last couple of days. That's what I couldn't just be on to come here this evening. Thank you so much for being part of this program. Good evening, folks. We want to welcome all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Afonso Zian Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you to our many listeners and viewers across the globe for sharing your Thursday evening with us here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. My sincere apologies. I've never had a chance to discuss what is unfolding in Liberia, which is just crazy. It's just insane. It's unbelievable to see a sovereign nation, a country of 172 years, almost in the 73 now, to see what is happening. The cold in this East Coast be beating me down, and I was just boiling within. Why am I not participating in this sort of discourse that have engulfed the social network? Little ones, they unborn, perhaps, thinking about it, but I had a very bad cold. My voice was so terrible, but I thank God I'm doing much better. Because if I'm not here, I feel it's been disservice to you. What we want to welcome all our viewers and listeners. If my audio is perfect this evening or this afternoon, depending on your locations, just give me a signal. We want to welcome all of you for being part of this program here this evening. Liberia Public Radio is getting unconfirmed reports that the political commentator Henry Costa has apparently left Sierra Leone. We yet to confirm the authenticity of this news, but it is good to say that indeed Mr. Costa has left Sierra Leone. That's what we are hearing, and we hope that happens to be the case as well. And so we are yet to follow this development. We've been trying to reach out with sources or folks much closer to Costa. But we are hearing from our guys in Liberia, some of the close aides or close friends of Henry Costa or members of the Council of Patriots most likely is confirming that. But yet we have not seen, or I have not seen, an official post from Mr. Costa to say that he has left the country. But how did we get to this point here, and what is really happening? We're going to be having an honest discussion here this evening. As usual, your voice, your opinion is always matter into this here. Please do me a favor, the sound is good. All right. Thank you so much, Vince. You said the sound is good. Okay, that's what we want to do because we don't want to have a distorted sound coming from our end, and to also give you the chance to participate. But the past week, it's just too much. The drama is just endless. And it is quite saddening to see a sovereign nation and a biggest slap from all that I've seen from our sovereign and West African cities of Freetown. And I think they took a wise decision. That what happens if you are not farsighted and you cannot make some concrete decision. But I'm going to be a double-sword guy here, which of course some of you are going to be pissed. That's okay. It's part of the discourse. We have to be very honest. We are not a network that will fix or fine-tune government message, nor the opposition or you as an ordinary citizen. We are obligated to the 15 political subdivisions, the voiceless, those who just do not have the ability to speak for themselves, to be able to tell on some of these high-call issue here. But I'm quite concerned, and I'm pondering as well to know what is happening in Liberia. Why should we be going through all of this? We are responsible. It's because of our failure to put in place institutions or elect credible people. And I have said it consistently over and over and over. The two forces that I can't define in my own setting, that is the government, the oppositions, or maybe the advocacy group, or whatever it is, we are responsible because we did not make good judgments of ourselves and knowing where we come from as a nation and as a people. As the result, we get what we want, So it's just quite crazy. The government has tipped herself into a swamp to swim like a hog, like a pig, and the opposition is also doing the same thing. Don't get me wrong. The message, and I've said this, but unfortunately, both the government and the opposition folks, they are not listening to us. Or they are not listening to some of us with these sort of critical voices, but try to be objective. All right, in this disco, there are millions, tons of reasons for which Mr. Costa to speak. But even those that are even supporting Costa himself, they have been disservice to him in terms of how to refine or get his tone fixed. And then you also have the other folks from the government side who should be the game changer to pivot in a special direction to also communicate effectively to their citizens on why the citizens are complaining, to why they are asking. We are not. A typical example is Minister Fagon, who happens to be one of the spokespersons of the government of Liberia. So Costa throws a little bit, and you have those naple or gruntled scrambling over that, and they just fall right into it. But I have been very consistent, and I will. And I'm hoping that one of these days I've been extending an invitation to give them the opportunity to also defend their position on some of these comments that they have been making. Why it is true Costa have had a genuine case against the government of Liberia, but the language and the hook attached to his message has created a lot of drama. But I know deeply within myself what I do know, and sources that I've talked to from all sides of the government side here, they are getting some sort of sense of relief because the manner in which Costa left, we're like, okay, we'll be thinking, okay, how can he come back? But that's a different ball game. But the million-dollar question here is, and it is yet to be confirmed because that's why we were having this call. We were still working behind the phone lines from inside Liberia to inside Sierra Leone to put the pieces together as to how Mr. Costa left Liberia. Even though there was an interview on VOA James Bottet at Daybreak, and he said that's crystal clear. So what he has done, he has knocked the hairs of the security forces, government, to say they are facilitating him. And that's a very clever move. I will do the same to say, okay, because these guys they don't listen, and they don't go beyond the backs. They always confine themselves into hearing what they want to hear. This is what I'm going to do. But remember, he has said that he has never trusted his government, the security forces, and and there are numerous reasons for which he can say that based on past history and see how things has been happening, and there's no final conclusion into these cases, murder to rape or whatever cases it's going to be. Then of course you find it very troubling. And that's what happens as a citizen when there's apprehensions and you have numerous of doubt about your government, the government that you should rush to provide you a security protection is not happening. Then that's what happens. But he said he does not trust the security. But now we are hearing that the same security people have helped to facilitate that. But I'm hearing from some other sources outside the diplomatic enclave, and the authenticities of his news is yet to be confirmed. Mr. Costa most likely Liberia by sea. If that is the case, who helped to facilitate that? And justifications of mine saying here that probably could be part of the decisions of Sierra Leone. And Sierra Leone, Creole man, not a stupid man. Those guy, the guy saying Boku, pass we the Liberian people. I stay in Sierra Leone. That's where I was in Sierra Leone during the civil crisis. Yes, and I know one of the very first thing when the government asked to return these gentlemen. Remember, Sierra Leone is a sovereign nation as well. They are advocacy group, they are human rights group, they are other folks institutions in there. One of these Liberian, but the fees we don't stupid. We're not a stupid. You guys don't fight for 10, 15 years when I reward all of these rebels with good positions. Some the ministers, some the vice presidents, some the directors, and all of that. The people don't kill your family then. You don't go and give them job. So these Baba who don't run and come out with Nasalon training because he don't tell we say that we would take him back to Liberia, they go kill him. So what he did cleverly is to indict the government. Hey, okay, I'm here. All right, I am here. You want to send me? Send me. But I'm just only telling you, my life is not safe because if you send me back there, those guys are going to kill me. Of course, not impossible. All of these things is not off the table. We saw what happened with Greaves. Endless discussion that is being buried. And we saw the excessive force used by our security personnel during the protester. Even though they acted stupid, they had no business because, and I've said this, it seems that they do not even have counsel too. Costa is a very young man. There is no questions, the talents, the bravery in this man, that no one can underestimate that. But I've said this, he needs a help along the way to get his message, to talk, to resonate with the Liberian people. But unfortunately, I'm not sure what is the deal, whether the politicians and some of those who are part of the Council of Patriots, even when they are out of the public space, in the private sector, to advising, yes, you are successfully get your message out. But there must be a game change. There must be a change. There must be a change in our tone, in order for other critical Liberians who are saying the reality. No question, he's speaking to the reality of things that is happening, things that are happening in the country. It is one thing to talk about it. It is another thing how you go about to process and to present the message. So when you're talking to me, I will have an eye here. I will critically it in as much as speaking on in my behalf. I will also critically look at how the message is being presented. From time to time, that is the only thing I have complained and I'm saying, and he's not listening. And he never listened. Now, to everything, there's advantage and disadvantage. All right? The government did a stupid thing. They didn't build a case against the Costa. In as much he says some ridiculous thing about the president and about the country, which I really vehemently disagree with that. You're going to drag the president, you're going to do the whatever fees, airport going to come down. Okay. I know there was some sort of outburst that was coming from out of him. And that's why the international community brought it to attention. And he was able to consolidate his positions and say, okay, they call us to rectify his statement because the tone, the message itself has a propensity to create chaos. Remember, bulk of these people that are involved are our Southwest African nations. And all of these countries are most likely, if not war situations, they have gone through a lot of demonstrations and all sort of violence. Cote d'Ivoire, the Sierra Leone and all of that. They have gone through that. So they gotta be very careful. Folks, I'm not picking a call here. If I were to pick up call here, I will announce it. Just bear with me here. Let us set the stage here, and we will be able to make a meaningful contributions into today's discussions. And I believe me, you're gonna have your own say here. It is a Liberia business here, so all of us, you, myself, everybody, do have a share in this. So that's why resulted to where we are today. I am not happy the manner in which he left, because now you're going to give the government labs to say this is how he left. And sometimes we have to, there are some things you don't get them out. And he made numerous mistakes along the way. And I don't blame him, because some of the folks that are with him and some of the other folks that we expect, he's been brave, and he is brave. You have more than 10 political parties that participated in the election. And all of them went to bed like a dead person. They are all in common. It is only this young guy, 37-year-old, I'm far way older than him, was able to take the bull by the horn. So my guess here was, okay, since you can't do it, Boyka sleeping, Benana Ure is on his farm base. You have Alexander Komen here, also in his own world, doing his own thing. But they are waiting to gain preeminence. That is, they are waiting to see if the electoral process begin to play out to make themselves viable. All right? And this talk show host, I came out and said, no, something right is not going on. And he began to speak on some of those ills in society. And the government, information people or the spokespeople perfectly drowned themselves into his playbook. And they were unable to pivot or to change the narrative. And you have Eugene Fagon, they were making ridiculous statements. Whether they were going to see whether coconut in water and where, who, door, born, door, and all of that. Can you imagine to have an official spokesperson of the Republic of a sovereign nation to be speaking? And nobody get the guts, even the advisors to the president, to say, no, Mr. President, you need to tell X, Y, Z. This is not the language that our friends around the sovereign nation. Now, the decisions of the government of Sierra Leone, remember, I stayed in Sierra Leone for more than 4, 6, 7 years, and so we talked to good friends. I had radio, popular radio, as a friend there, for fun. It based on some of these rhetorics that were coming from government, inconsistent messages that were coming from the government side. They monitor our news, right? It was based on that. They took their decision. And they said, wait a minute. These people that fought 15, 6, almost 10 years civil wars, and what they did, they rewarded these people who destroyed their land, make them stakeholders, make them decisions and policymakers of the country. So, the probability if we turn this guy over, what he's telling us will most likely happen. You saw what Sierra Leone did. All of those active players in the Liberian India crisis, none of them were able to get to be politically rewarded to end up being decisions and policy makers to preside or lay over their lives. They didn't do that. But we on the other side, Liberia, because we are in better fear within us that if these people, if we do not put them in XY positions, this is what's going to be happening. We make that sort of a wrong guess game. We make that sort of wrong educated game to say, yes, let's put them there. Other than that, we're going to go this. And it has led us to be where we are. Fagon admitted that when Costa gets in the country, he will be arrested. I hosted the Solicitor General, now won 3 times in Liberia, and he came to the state. And he said that there was an indictment. The Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, came out to say no. How can you have these sort of multiple statements from an institution that's supposed to be unique, a government with a central to well-coordinated message? It was not like that. And the president sat there. You never put any charge, any sort of violation as to what he did. And then you say you want to go arrest him. That was one of the reasons. And it's clear under the Sierra Leone law, you must be criminally charged. Right? That was not the case with the government. Everything was circumstantial. And circumstantial evidence is not refined in a court of competent jurisdiction. It's like a guess game. All right? I think he wants to do this. And don't get me wrong. He says some ridiculous and some crazy things which I disagree with. Because it killed the message of what he tries to do, and other people are going to look at it differently. Even though he has his own cheering squad, and nobody had the guts to tell him, say, no, don't do it this way. And I kept telling these people, you're not listening. You are not solidifying your positions in the best way. The opposition did not help in the protests. And protest is part of getting government's attention on some bad policies and things that are happening in the country and how to address it. But the mistaken part of the COP2 was they centralized the protest. It wasn't decentralized. Monrovia is just minute of the country. You have 14 political subdivisions. So if his message was seasoned, if his message was just on point and being forgettable, being a little bit personal, and began to speak to this thing, then the insecurity aspect that built within him, it would have been there. So what he was going to do, he and his folks, they were going to go outside of Monrovia. And in that event, you have to be strategic. And that's what I'm telling you. Hire men to be your consultant, and even the government, but they're not doing it. Because other than wants to go nuts and other than want to be crazy, do their own thing. Nobody's listening to anybody. So they other than keep kicking the can down the road. So all of their resources were put in Monrovia. You have targeted maybe 3-4 other counties. That's how you do when you stress out. When the government, how many police officers in Monrovia? 500? I don't even know my own county. I don't think they reach about 50 police officers. That's what people do. That's what people do. Then you put stress on the government. I'm just saying this. If you want to do certain things, you have to do it. And there are also laws on the book that you want to work in. You do not want to get yourself into trouble. See what happened the other day. Cote d'Ivoire, the former prime minister. The government put a case on him. And he said you were going to be coming to Ivory Coast, right? The government said, no, you're not coming. Because what they did was to charge him. Whether the charge is legal, but the idea he had been incriminated to something because of the same protest, and people say, okay, you're not coming. You say, you're coming. All right, the plane was over Cote d'Ivoire, Abidjan, and they say, well, the plane is not getting down here. They did not give the plane the pathway to land. What happens? It went to Ghana. That's how you kind of try to show your own authority. But in this case, it did not happen. Okay, Costa too, as a young person, now something is popping with him. He went home. Government, they do whatever checking, allow him, even though they are saying that the document is fake. Okay, if the document is fake, he was there for 2-3 weeks. No any action. BIN, the Bureau of Immigration, did not call him to do a follow-up as to where he got the visa, the laissez-passer form, whether the $20 went to government revenue. Due diligence wasn't done. They waited until he decided to leave and they want to take. Even though there is no anything, being ignorant of a law is no excuse. But as a government, if they knew that The leak of that laissez-passer to pro-government network, Freedom FM, which is another ridiculous state station that always just send the sound bites of the government instead of them making use of something, went and throw all of those information out on a social network. They did. They threw it. Without the government all that time, without the government building a substantial and convincing case against the gentleman who they feel is a threat to the country. Because so far as I see, he is the only voice. Boyka, United Party needs to retire Boyka. And that's what they are not doing. People continue to want to hold on to something. And that's the problem we are in as a country and as a people. Our inability and deliberate refusal to prepare young generation. They are waiting for convention or whatever thing. God one knows. You serve as a vice president. You have been in government for more than 35 years. For God's sake. Why you didn't do that you think you're going to do within today's generation, the 21st generation, is insane. It does not make no sense. Carry up and down. If I were in a unity party, I would say, you know what? You need to be the doyen and let us come to you as an advisor. That's a typical failures of our institutions. These are some of it. And people refuse to discover these things and allow them to grow with it. And when we become grown up and we exceed more than 32, we should be the number one. It become 50 and you say you want to extract the other one to bring it to 32, then that's the problem. So the institutions are not effective. The time they took to send that laissez-passer or whatever situation it is for them to publish on the social network. As far as I'm concerned, because I've been part of those press briefings before as Charles Wayon Hall, every Thursday is the regular press briefings of the Ministry of Information. They use that time not just to talk to Liberians, but to talk to all foreign missions accredited near the capital, because it summarizes all of government's achievement, things that are happening in government, things that people need to know, economic, social, and so many fronts that people need to do to explain to the people. They who have done their due diligence and begin to look. It is sad to maybe check with the immigration people from Ghana. Check all other routes that he think he has used and trace and build that case. And then you have a press conference say, okay, this is what we have. They didn't do it. They just saw one side of it and the conclusion was it was drawn. A few people closer to the president maybe have said, okay, that's all about it. Now I'm calling Serena Cephas, who happens to be the Solicitor General, who told us on LPR that Mr. Costa was indicted on so many funds that he counted to come and tell us whether that indictment is still in place. And if that indictment was in place while Mr. Costa was in the country all of these weeks and months, a protest was staged on somebody that you think that you say is being indicted was wanted, allows it Eugene Fagons, another disaster, who the president consistently refused and to see him as somebody who is talking good for the government. He needs to go to party headquarters maybe to get them prepared for 2023 or maybe 2020 senatorial candidate. I think that's where he belongs. But when you are in government and you begin to speak for government, that's a different ball game. You have to be a more listener than a talker, because the more you listen, you will be able to make a case for your government, because you represent the government. For God's sake, you represent all of us. But when you come out with so much of anger, see what he done this few days. They always doing damage control. And so if you are noted of making careless statements or being very rude, very disrespectful to people that you are serving, and your language, right? The day you don't do it, everybody going to say, yeah, he did it, because how you talk to people. You saw the damage control yesterday with this Facebook and stuff. So I'm wondering, and you have some folks here in the USA also that are most likely, because their government has not made a condemnation Listen to this. And I'm wondering why the government of Liberia is listening to some of these individuals who sit in the diaspora and other places and make some stupid statement, and nobody can come out, well, that person does not represent us. He does not represent the image of this government, but says some stupid thing, and the government itself feeds into this. Listen to the other clown here.
Henry Costa need to be killed. He need to die for Liberia to move forward. And that's the mistake Samuel Doe make. The mistake Samuel Doe make, Samuel Doe compromise Madam Salif. That's why he died. And 300,000 people die today. They seen Samuel Doe, they seen softness. He never listened to his people. That's why we lost 300,000 people's life today. Because one mistake Samuel Doe make, he never killed Madam Salif. If Samuel Doe could kill Madam Salif, because let me tell you one thing, always you kill the head, the one, the sponsor, you get rid of them quick. You get rid of them. If Samuel Doe, because Madam Salif was the one that was lobbying in America.
There you have it.
Money together.
That's Class D, most likely promulgating government agenda. And this is his other silly part. He, Mr. Costa, too, after he got in Liberia, they also threw a bit, and he just fell into this. Keep it balanced. Listen to him, too.
Because Doe compromised Madam Salif death.
Government tariffs. So they published my document. I came to the country on laissez-passer. I didn't enter with my passport. If they don't know, they have planned. They wanted to seize my passport. So they were waiting for me to present them a passport. I now get them passport. I get them laissez-passer. They read it. They said, how they manage to get it? Oh, they said they're investigating the whole ministry. They're investigating the embassy in Ghana. You don't even know where I get a laissez-passer from. What are that from? Guinea, Ghana, Nigeria. Oh, no, I entered the country. I reached the airport. I get them laissez-passer. They said, oh, they expected me to get them passport. You think I'm stupid so I can see my passport? I smile at y'all, I smile at Joey, I smile at Tway, I smile at all of y'all. So now they go get rid of that picking who can be imitating me because it's at the CC Costa. So you not post my laissez-passer on Facebook. So that one I was in there. That government document. That government, when I ready to go again, they will not see passport. I will get a laissez-passer again. If Joey will be there, sir, because December 30th, Joey are going. So maybe when I'm ready to go, Joey will not be there. So I will use my passport. So you see how your challenge? So you see the government challenge?
There you go. There you go. That's what you get. That's what you reap if you do not have people to guide you along the way. So even if you went through that, who put finger in your throat to go that way, and become so out of control when you knew within yourself that you were going for a specific mission? So Mr. Costa too, he acted silly, just how the government behaved. And nobody, people who are supporting him, never had a guts on some of these mistakes that he was making along the road to say no. Somebody told me, hey, you're young, he's small. That's nonsense. I don't want to listen to that. If you're a child, you can challenge government. If you're a child, you can involve into advocacies. If you're a child, you can be a human rights or whatever to advocate. Then you need to grow when you become an adult, where maybe you are prepared to go to be cuffed and go behind bar. Then you need to be prepared for that. It doesn't matter. Over the age 18 that you're an adult, you should be able to make an informed decision. But that's what happens if you have people who are not standing up, and that's some of the problem we are having today. People who are closer to the president, their inability to look into the eyes of the president and say, no, some of these decisions wrong, right, we not need to take it. When we take it, there will be a repercussion. They don't do it. That's the same way with Costa as well. Very genuine arguments, message on some of the things, real-time things that are happening in the country. But the manner in which he presents himself too, it becomes a problem. it becomes a problem. You can't talk and talk all. You can reserve some. Even look at it, for example, look at that wicked tip. I may be in a position, I won't throw it out there. That's where I'm going to make myself more viable in the eyes of the international community, the Uncle Sam and all of those people. I won't throw it out there. You're not going to fight a social network war in Africa, third world countries for that matter. Well, you're going to gain that momentum, but it will never succeed. This is why they need counsel. This is why they need people to help them along the way. That's leak tip from Moluba Malu, another disaster that up to this time I'm so surprised that nobody has called in to tell us more what we need to know as a country. Nobody has done that. That tip alone will have been documented with all of your arguments, the 5 points, the 10 points, the 15 points, the Council of Patriots or the opposition, the thing they have against the government. That tape just validated all of what they have been saying. And they should have put that together and go to the international community. Well, we've been making some mistakes down the road. We've been talking. We've been using some ridiculous words against the presidents, against the country. We are sorry, but we are hurt of what is happening to our country. But folks, now this is not for Costa. We want you to take your own time to listen to this and leave it with them. Who is it coming from? Can you imagine when you have a Republican chairman of RNC here making some statement against Donald Trump, or Paris for the Democratic Party making some statement against the standard bearers of Democratic Party? You think a small thing? The House and both House and Senate will subpoena that person. But it was hastily done because you want to have that public opinion to swell on your side. It was wrong. It's all because, again, people are not helping this young man to advancing along the way. So if I see all that is going on, it's just complete mess. It's distracting us from the real-time issue. Distracting us from the real-time issue. And there's a need here that we come to base. We need to come to base. You heard Joel Howard Taylor recently. She's supposed to be in section. She's not going because her benefits or salary too was cut and all of that. Apparently, unknowingly to her or whatever they do, we try to region the year to answer that question. But we quick to be forgetful as we Liberians. I had an opportunity to sit with her last year during my trip. During my trip to Liberia, and that was unusual. Where you face the sitting vice president, which of course the position is a political position, and said that I was not willing to talk politics. That signaled to me that there's a big divide between the vice president and that of the president, and we all know it. And it seems that is still undone. Remember in the 80s, what happened between the late Samuel Doe and Thomas Watson, who was the vice chairman of the People's Redemption Council? You saw where he ended, right? Charles Taylor and Doe Coley and all of those people, Moses Blah, you know how he ended? So it has become a pattern where our national leaders, the number one and the number two, at some point in time, they are not on track as to how to conduct the affairs of the nation. That's very serious. If she is trying to adopt a stay-at-home attitude, you saw the other day the lawmakers too, right? They came in too because they were not getting their pay. See how dishonest these people are. It shows to me it is just all about themselves. If they get it, the other person down there, they don't get it, some are fool. It's up to them. It's up to them. And that's a serious issue. Where you have the vice president and the sitting president, they are not in accord in policies, in decision making. In time to come, there is we will be having an interview with the MPP guy from Bon County. Now she has come up with her decisions, which politically is not a good decision on her part to have boycotted the section. Because as a chief presiding officer, nobody is talking about it. And if we look at the patterns of past relationships of our vice president, so what happened lately, Helen Johnson Sirleaf and that of Joseph Boycott, that was unusual. I served as a vice president to you for 12 years, right? More or less, it's always typical when the president is leaving, the deputy always want to come in. See what happened with Joseph Boycott and not just what his name? Obama now, you see Joe Biden. At the end of the day, I have no doubt Biden would definitely support, Obama would definitely support Biden. But we saw what happened, the frictions and the situation created. Helen deliberately refused, even though there are tons of other stories attached to it that we know, but are yet to be validated because they allow it to stay within, behind the closets. That's the difference with Helen. When she's doing her stuff, you were not easy to know. You were just here in rumors, but to get it out of her, forget it. You got a vice president who was told to make some comments about the president that when he takes over X, Y, Z, what he was going to do. So you look at it and say, oh, you on my shoulder. Then you want to conk my head. I will throw you in deep sea. So she felt comfortable. She felt very discomfortable as well. But what do you think went wrong? Why you think about your government and their behavior towards their citizens? Now, I am concerned on a lot of front here. I'm going to be taking call here in the next 4 or 5 minutes. What is the strategy now for COP? Now, Mr. Costa has left the country. Now, the government now will be having the lead that he left the country illegally because they wanted him to answer questions or whatever. We just do not know why he signed, and we do not know the details of that. We are hoping that there will be a definitive positions whether there's a crime, what sort of crime that will be constituted. And if, like we are hearing, Costa has left, Sierra Leone is here in the USA, but yet to be confirmed. Again, like I said, can he still go back? And if Costa is unable to go back to Liberia, what becomes the fate of the Council of Patriots? How viable the Council of Patriots will still be? That's the $1 million questions, because it's very difficult if your physical presence is not felt. Even though Yeke is still there, but at the same time we're hearing Yeke was getting ready to back up, but because of this situation, folks has talked to him and he decided to hang in there. But we just do not know what's going to be the end result. I am Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I will be taking call now. Let me just start here. Let us have a discussion here to see you as a Liberian. Caller, are you there? Yeah, are you there? Hold on 1 second. Caller, are you there? I am Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia. Oh, hold on 1 second. Are you hearing me? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hello? Hello? Are you hearing me? Okay, let me see it. Folks, let me just take a break and see what I can get this audio thing going right here. I'm not sure whether the guys are not hearing me. I'm going to take a quick break here, and then I will be right back, and then to see how we can get this audio thing fixed. All right, I'll be right back.
Ọmọ tó ọ̀sùn yàrá ìsìnkú ìwọ̀n kíkó di àpẹyẹ lùtẹ́nu jí gbọ́sẹ̀ àdébọ̀ o de développement national tẹ́dí o àó bèbè yẹn pa mẹ́ o. àwọn yìí bọ́dú ògbìn gbọ̀hún ìwọ̀n dèmẹ̀rí ọ̀sẹ̀ àṣìtò ayé ìpínlẹ̀ yẹn ọ̀sẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ rí ẹsẹ̀ rẹ̀ nù ẹ̀ o. àwọn ògbẹ́hùn ọkọ̀ pápá wọn ti yá kẹ́.
Yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, let me just come back on here. The other person there. Speak their mind, and that's where things coming. Okay, Ty, caller Ty, go evening. Sure. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Amos Zor, Prophet Zor. I always listen to your station, your talk show. And actually tonight I decided to call on your show.
Awesome.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I'm telling you tonight, coming from my heart, you know, usually always praying for this country,
right.
Liberia. And that is the only country that we have on earth.
I'm telling you.
Only place that we can never be deported from. You know, Liberia problem is not where we are. Liberia problem is not with Costa. Liberia problem is not with anything else that's going on now. The problem with Liberia is ourselves. So we can go back to the foundation, to where we first destroyed, because we can say Liberia was founded on a Christian principle. When we were way down there, I remember way down there, I shook Toba hand right in front of Lake Focal. When Toba was marching out to go down Bento era, I stood on the road and I shook his hand. And the country was so peaceful. I remember I shook President Doe's hand right in Pinsway there. And then Doe walked on the street of Monrovia. Now, what is happening to us from the day that Toba died disgracefully? We the native people destroying our own nation, destroying ourselves because we have not gone back to the root cause of our shame. The Bible says, Christ be the man that sees his father nakedness. When we do not go back to the root, to where we first pour a innocent blood on us, what we don't know about, you and I don't know about it. We don't know about Toba death, but we just dance in the street, native woman born soldier Toba. Today, let me tell you something, Liberia go 100 years backward. All those that are in the street backing Costa, they are children, people who are born in the war, people who eyes open.
Hold on a minute. So, Pastor, when you say people who back in Costa, does that mean what he's saying, he's not speaking to the minds and hearts of Liberians? Is that the case? How you see it?
Let me tell you, he is not.
Why?
Let me tell you, we was not put into the seat. He was not put into the seat by himself. He did not force power. We was not one that went into the war. We were placed into the seat by the same people that are running beyond Costa today, Messiah. They are the same people that are placing in the seat.
Okay.
You understand? So we cannot get somebody coming into the country. What Costa did in the country recently, let me tell you, no one can do it to Sierra Leone. No one can do it to Ghana. No one can be able to do it to Nigeria. This simply means that Liberia is at a crossroad that anything can happen at any time. We have to put our foot down. Right now, we're having talk show, we're listening, and you're having a beautiful talk show. But the issue is spiritual. We have to go back to the root cause. Costa gone. Goodness, look at Yeke. Yeke was sitting down. He will fight. Look at Prince Johnson. Kill a lot of people. He in the house to make one law. These people then are all kill our people then. Innocent people, they sitting in the house to make law. What kind of law are you going to make?
Okay, hold on. Okay, hold on right there, Pastor. We always allow people to something, and that's your views and opinion. You calling from what? 512? Is that which number you're calling from, Pastor? I just want to make sure.
I'm calling from 612.
Okay, 612. Okay. So, all right, hold on 1 second. Somebody is on. Please lower your monitor. Let me go to 515, number 4261. Caller, are you there? Please lower your monitor. Other than that, I will only have the pastor.
I'm here, so
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. For those of you on the line, please tune your monitor. I'm hearing myself. It means somebody is listening to the program at the same time. These are some of the high problem we're talking about in Liberia that can never be settled there. Please lower your monitor. Other than that, the only 2 persons are there. I will just understand. I will let us stay there.
Okay, hold on 1 second. For those of you on the line.
Okay. You know what? I don't have time for that.
I think it's coming from the second person there.
No, it's not me.
No, now you.
Not me.
The other people are let
Not
them
me.
go now. So I'm not going to take them now until there's something. These are some of the problems we're talking about. Everybody high a belly good. Okay, let me come to you here. 515. Well, what's your point?
Yeah, my name is Barnett Bob, but I'm calling from Des Moines, Iowa. I listened to your monologue, and there are a lot of things that I agree with you. First of all, Mr. So, if the government of Liberia had a point on Costa, like for example, if you travel to a nation, the reason they had immigration at a port is to inspect the document to make sure they are admissible, right?
Right, to validate your document.
Yeah, they got to validate your document to see whether you are the citizen of a nation coming in or you are a foreigner coming in, and they want to authenticate the type of document you have. So if they're making with some type of sham document that they thought was not right, the man should have been arrested regardless what type of protest was going to go on. They would have had a point. But they got the man document, and the next thing you know, governments that scan the man document and giving, an approval stamp to enter the country, take the document and leak it to somebody who is a talk show. Just like you said, they could have used that number of time to observe the document, make sure it's true. After many days later, the man about to leave the country, then they come by and say, we thought the document gave us is illegal. So tell me now, how you think the man...
I don't get it. I don't get it. Why they decide to do that?
He just let like you said, we are all young people. I'm 39 years old. Once you start advocacy, you are not young anymore. The man even could have stayed in Liberia there. That would have brought the government to a public disgrace and shame. He just left.
What he did now too, he also validated government argument that yes, he entered Liberia illegally. You understand what I'm saying? He gives the government less, even though they screw up from the beginning. He gives the government the, and yet a stupid thing the government did. You will make your point. Look here. Okay, they say this man came illegally. That's the government arguments. Let's create a theory here, Ty, to build this case just for discussion purposes. Suppose Mr. Costa, like he said, he was calling on tens of thousands. Let's assume there's tens of thousands that were having arms and ammunition in the country, right? And they were ready to take instruction from him. Government say they indicted him. He came illegally. He's saying he want to drag the president. It means they were coming to overthrow the government. Some of those things were coming. And the man got there. He stays there for 3 weeks. You did not do anything. You did not call him for questioning to clarify his statement. You stayed there. So don't you think, even if he had armed, don't you think the government nowadays you are being out? And then you waiting until after 3 weeks he leaving the country and he said, no, you committed a crime, we want to arrest you. How stupid that sound.
And their incompetency did not start there. They said the guy, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a supporter of anybody. You and I, we in the United States. We really don't have a mere fish to fry in that place except we have family.
My man, don't say that you have, that's your country, my man. We can't live it with those people, but.
You know what I'm saying is we don't really know the internal politics of it to kind of be on a certain side. But here's the thing. They did the same thing experimentation with the experimented idea with Yeke Kolubakar. If you as an authority legally part, the first thing you want to do before you take that vehicle to a central location, charge search the vehicle and see what is in there and establish a case. But they told the car here, take it from there and carry somewhere else.
I don't even understand how they're conducting their stuff. You look at it, you check it, you carry it after hour, the man were not there, then you say, I'm inside.
So the Costa should have stayed in Liberia, and I couldn't see the end to this.
You see, he made a great mistake, and that's what I said. He needs a. If I were Costa, and I know somebody said the other day they're going to kill him, they're not going to kill. If I were Costa, issue of bail, issue of have here in hand with the Yeke Koluba. Koluba, I see him as the brave and authentic and genuine. He left the scene to say he going for appointment. So if you
Nah.
had an appointment, why the hell you staged that protest that day? He should have been in the
Nah.
forbearing where he and Darius Dillon and let the people put that water can up. By this time, then the international community, real intervention, then it would have taken place. And maybe they should have even arrested him for 1 minute and go beyond the pole. You're going to see CNN and this and that. But he left. He decided to leave.
You know, and to conclude, because I know you have a lot of people calling you Mr. Soul because you got this big platform, let other people speak. Let me just conclude. Yes, my personal observation. You see, I love everybody says he's a good man, but you and I live here. There's something wrong. You know, if they are really leading that company, they have to do a research. If you see people gravitating to people like Costa, who you think is irrelevant, and people going to listen to that person, there's something wrong somewhere. You got to do your investigation. You got to see what are they doing wrong. Why Liberia is a country where money lost from the continuum and nobody is
nothing.
What kind of corruption case they ever took to court that they have won? And this information always every year. Let's say the government is going to release their report now on every nation. Last time Liberia they reported Liberia they now ever win a corruption case in court. In other words, what they allege is the system of government will each work together. So the judiciary, the lawmaker and executive branch, they all corrupt internally, so case will now go somewhere that is nobody.
It's right. And you have Costa there too throwing cussing the presidents and all of that. Nobody giving him sense of direction.
They will jump over you and go to Guinea. They will jump over you and go to Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, and Rwanda for development or investment company will do that. They will not come to your country.
Okay, we're not badged in here. Quickly here, make your recommendation. Well, if you were advising the government, I will come to you. Pastor, stay there. There are some things there. Stay there with me. I will come to you before I let it second person go and bring in other people. What's your recommendation to the government with respect to this, and what do you think the opposition needs to do? We try to put up find remedies to all of these things that we talk about. Let's just pretend, even though they don't listen to people because they don't like to listen to real thing. We know then, but our job, we will not get tired.
Oh, you mean the government?
What's your
about recommending?
Yeah, what you want to recommend to the government and the opposition?
What I wanted we have to have done is, you see, the central point. If you are Mr. So, if you had an election and you are president, nobody going to remove you. So even if you look at Trump right now, he doesn't know anything, but nobody going to take him out. So the thing you can do as a leader is, you are the central focus point. Remove those guys. You see, government is not an eternity. Those people you appointed, like the Samuel Tuel and other, there's nothing wrong. It's not like you are against them. But if you can analyze and see whether there's a success and failure, it's through the people, your lieutenants. If I was grading Samuel Tuel, I wouldn't grade him like a good, competent finance minister. Nobody around the world would do that, except in Liberia when people are argumentative. Remove certain people from certain places. Just tell them, you know what, you served your 2 years. I mean, I'm my friend. There's nothing wrong with it. But there's certain statistical results that have not been produced. You look at IF giving you loan with certain rule and regulations. You running around your party chairman and talking and incriminating you in your statement. There's something wrong. They have to stop and go back to the basics and put competence into place. They should not look at themselves and feel they're breaking themselves down. You know, the president, I know everybody know he can't read, doesn't know anything. That's okay. You don't have to know something to be a president. People can elect you, that's it. But you got to use common sense and see where you're taking the nation. People are unemployed. People not getting that money from the bank. The currency is in sham, is in problem. You can never do anything. You got people that get like documents all over the place. You allow Nigerians to open banks, they themselves money and bring it back into the country. That's how you get this inflation problem. You can do whatever you want to do. There's a boss. They got to come to a boss and say, what is going on? Who are the international experts? Why are all Liberians that know these things? But when they are kicking Liberians out and telling, passing all kind of funny laws and say, hey, when you're foreigner, you can't hold a position when you're Liberian, citizenship somewhere. But they don't have the expertise. If they do, let them prove it. The years are going. Liberia is crumbling. The
So
economy is
quickly
crumbling,
here.
but things are bad.
Okay,
Yes.
quickly here. What's your own advice to the opposition? Because I don't see them providing any alternative besides these charade press conferences every day. I saw Darius Dillon today. Thank you. How long you be telling people thank you? We need proactive measures. These are things that are getting me upset.
Opposition in Liberia, you know, Mr. So it's the system they have there. For example, in America, you can be an opposition, be louder every day you want. But the ruling party will not see it that way. They will think you're trying to you're trying to revive the election. That's why they are quiet. But they shouldn't be. They should point out logically what Costa is doing. If I were Costa, I will start a political movement and put them out of business. The next election time, I'm running. They don't run it, and when I lose, they lose. Everybody will lose.
Exactly, and that's what I suggested the other day. He should have transformed that COP to almost like the Tea Party style and start to put their candidate. You're going to see what's going to happen. But with this whole thing now, I don't even know what's going to happen.
Yeah, Alexander called me running around with the top. We thought he is the economy that went with Coca-Cola and all that. They don't speaking out. They are all, cowards. Mr. Bwaka you're referring to.
Okay. All right, my man. Thank you so much. Let me bring in the next person.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. This is Liberia talk here. Pastor, let me come to the 612 and then I'll come back before I let you go. And then 678 number, just hold on. By the way, you can also watch our live on YouTube, Liberia Public Radio YouTube channel. Go there, you're going to see the live video as well. But 612-3168, good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yes, it's Terry calling.
Okay, Terry.
Yeah.
All right, my man. The whole thing spilled now like the BP oil. So let me bring you. Do you have a map to map it up to drain the oil?
Well, you know the trouble now again. The almost is not even oil again. Now.
You gotta get closer to your phone, my man.
Yeah, I'm closer. You getting me?
Yeah, much better. Okay, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah. 401. Just hold on. Then Terry, go ahead, and I will come to you.
Yeah, as I'm saying. Somebody else on the line making noise. I don't know if.
Man, that's somebody talking about. Yeah, for those of you, if I don't call your number, do me a favor, just mute your phone from your end. That way we will not get any feedback, and lower your monitor, please. Go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, so like what you're saying, Mr. So, there are a lot of things involved. First of all, I think the government made another mistake, and Henry Kosa capitalized on it and got points out of them. And that is the reason why they're always on the wrong side of the coin, because people always capitalize on their mistakes, and do what they do. But I think that Henry cannot go to any renowned institution in Liberia to solidate, to be able to get a genuine laissez-passer by passing through the reputable procedure. Will all be persecuted, or we're all not getting it, because I don't think any entity in Liberia will willingly offer Henry Costa a laissez-passer document when he passed through the proper procedure. So I believe that was one of the reasons why.
No, but hold on 1 second, Terry. How can you come to that? Why will you say? So are you saying? Let's start from the genesis of this whole thing here, living here. So are you saying if you maybe use his passport from the embassy from the U.S. here, whatever document, are you saying like his argument that passport have been seized? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I want to believe that. I want to believe that his document will have been seized because the government already had a plan in motion to arrest him, and that is clear. So
even though he went, so why didn't he? If the government felt that he did not use the leaker document, it doesn't matter. I'm a Liberian, you're a Liberian, but it doesn't mean if you are out of the country when you go in, of course you have to go through the process and everything like everyone does. So if the government strongly believes that, why he was in the country, why he wasn't even called in, or why they never even immigrations or whatever authority, why they did not even call him for discussion or to for he to, maybe there was some suspicion on that document, why they didn't call him?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that this is where the government blunder. Because if you claim that the man entered the country with an illegal document, you should have arrested the man right there and then. And that was where they failed to do. After the man has carried on your protest, and you and I know how the
Why he arrested him for now? When there was any damage, it was being done long time before he decided to do it, then you say you want to. So why? What is the case? I don't get it.
So that is where now Henry Costa score points on them because now Henry Costa have made the government to look ugly like the Buku man he wanted them to look like internationally. Because this brother fled the country because I see it to be like a wish hunt. All right? You say the man document is not correct. So the man is saying, why when I enter the country you did not
Exactly.
You say, oh, we wanted you to wait until everything finished, blah, blah, blah.
So suppose he had gone there to overthrow the government, so they
yeah, so it don't make sense. They always do things back.
Oh my
So
goodness.
that is
Okay,
where
my man. Let me bring next question here. So what's your advice to the government and the opposition? Quickly here, 30 seconds. How can this be fixed?
So the opposition is very weak. And, you know, it's just sorry to say that nobody is there to stand George Weah. George Weah is only going back for 12 years. And
I said this. The probability is there. If they can solidify their position, if there's no lesson learned, then let them just leave their own with God. Create mercy, let it go. Okay.
Yes, because right now, so that is it. And the commentator is silent. He's going to be silent now because the government has done a job by taking him out of Liberia and silencing him. So he's going to be
I know deep down in your heart, my man, George, you said sleepy. I know you will sleep. I know you will sleep, son. So because he out of the country, he will sleep, son. But I think there's a mistake on his part, right? I think he will have gone through the press because what he has done now too by just leaving. And I know somebody will say, "Oh, but they want to honor the kid, man." Okay, I understand. But look, there is no freedom without pain, without no gain. The mistake started from down the road. He shouldn't have left that program. If our Costa were going to be part of that water canal, believe me, by this time, that's a different thing we are talking. Or if they had just made a mistake to apprehend him, to arrest him, you are not going to sleep in jail. By this time, it become a big, huge drama. But again, nobody is advising him. Now he left. Now, the government going to be very defiant. I'm not sure whether his network going to operate in Liberia again. That I'm not sure. So, he is the voice of the institution. So, he being outside of it without being physically present on the ground. I don't know what the impact that's going to be, but we're going to wait and see. We extended an invitation to talk to Mr. Costa. Hopefully, he will accept our invitation, and I will be able to go on some of these issues. Okay, thank you so much, my man. All right. Okay, so Pastor, 30 seconds here to make your point quickly. Are you still there, Pastor? Oh, he hang up. Okay, 678 number here, 2128. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Raymond Zeze and I call from Philadelphia.
Okay, Mr. Zeze, good evening and thank you for being on LPRS. Okay, help me out here to GOLCOP and the entire Liberia's drama. What the heck going on? What's going through your head, and how can it be resolved?
And there's nowhere like home. So whenever we hear these development coming from back home, you know, to trouble us. And
caller, hold on. Somebody on the line will bring you in, all right?
And to trouble our spirit. So this is so welcoming that we can come converge in this place where we can discuss issues pertaining to our...
Yeah, fellow gentlemen, hold on 1 second. I'm having a background talking. Please, if you want to talk, please mute your phone. I will call your number and then you can come in, please. Other folks are listening out there. We don't want to be getting confused. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead from Philadelphia.
Yeah, so I'm saying, you know, it's a good thing that we can come and discuss issue and find solution concerning development back home. But first and foremost, I think our government is proceeding wrongly.
Right.
A lot of development coming from back home shows that the most loved president of the people of Liberia, George Weah, who they saw to be so innocent, and the claim that people he has the country at heart, hasn't been proven. You know, every Liberian has stake in Liberia. But the president goes about saying, you know, enemy of the state, those who criticize him and speak ill against him, he calls them enemy of the state.
Right.
I think that in itself shows the character he is. That he really doesn't have the country at heart. He's not tolerant.
As a Liberian, do you forecast this sort of thing that is happening now on the president? Was that something that you think were going to happen? Some of the
Well,
comments
you
and
know,
all of that, coupled with the action by some of his senior officials, and nothing much is being done. Do you see that coming?
well, where we're heading is not positive at all. In fact, discussing what we are discussing right now, there's been so much negative reportage
Mm.
concerning our country from the international news medias. When you listen to them, it doesn't speak well, especially of the president. And I think, like everybody's saying concerning Costa, I think what Costa have done here put us on our spotlight. And a lot of the ills that he commented about, people are beginning to see because the protests got in the country. A lot of journalists saying call the attention of the word to what's happening in Liberia, and a lot of the reportage coming from Liberia speak about the economy.
Mm.
And it shows that the government hasn't shown tolerance. Talking about opposition in Liberia, I think where the opposition stand in Liberia is very difficult because a lot of Liberians did not listen to the message of the opposition. It did not resonate with them.
Why
So
you
I think
think
the
why you
opposition.
think their message is not resonating?
Well, I think the people of Liberia are tired with their politicians because time immemorial hasn't proven that the politician meant well for the country. So there's some distrust. The people do not trust what you're saying. So their message did not resonate with the people. So I think to be smart as a politician is to wait and let things go a little terrible and let the people agree with you before you speak to them.
Right.
And I think that's what the politicians are doing. Because if they start to speak right now, they might just get unpopular while they speak and the people don't believe them. So I think it was timely for them, for a guy like Costa to come in and test the waters. They just been trying to be smart. Because, all politicians, as much as they want to be advocates and speak about ills,
Mm.
they also want to win the votes of people.
Right.
That's paramount to them. So they have to play their game. As much as we will speak about love and everything, that's a reality. They are playing games. The game is to get your confidence and your vote.
Okay.
So they got to play. They have to wait for George Weah to get unpopular before they start speaking. Because if you put them on George Weah on the pedestal, especially of the recent past, they don't stand a chance to box George Weah politically, because the momentum was with George Weah.
All
And the
right.
people were with George Weah. It was so much gullible that everything George Weah said resonated with them, And
Okay.
we have a gullible society that.
All right. Thank you, Omer.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So I'm looking for some key words here for people to use here tonight, and that's what I'm saying. What's your recommendation to government or COP? Because I see COP to be the only pressure group. All of these other people, they need to dissolve these parties and bring in new breed on board. 306 number 7681. Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah. 306. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Paul Lamar. I'm calling from Canada.
Okay, Mr. Lamanta. How are you this evening?
Not bad.
Okay.
Thank you for the show again.
Thank you so much.
Yes, first of all, I want to make it clear.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Costa, first, Henry Costa is not a politician. I know all of you know he just was a talk show host. He's not a politician. And moreover, he's very arrogant, very disrespectful, very rude. So I see no reason why we should give credence to such a man. I agree. The economy in Liberia has problems. But what can Henry Costa do to solve the problem there?
So
there's a problem.
So everybody should remain quiet?
He doesn't have to be quiet. But let him do it in a mature way.
And that's what I'm saying. That's been an argument consistently from time to time. He get a good argument, but his manner in which he sometimes processes message, it kills the strength of it.
I agree. So why do we give credence to a man who is not mature? He doesn't have any sense of direction. We know he could. The man, look, this is the man who wants to be a leader. The government have never planned to arrest Henry Costa. Because if the government planned to arrest Henry Costa, they would have arrested him when January 6th protest. No, the government never planned. When Henry Costa went to the airport to leave the country, he gave his laissez-passer and the boarding pass. So the people, because the laissez-passer was expired, he should have left before the 5th of January. On the laissez-passer, it was expired because the last day he should have stayed in the country was the 5th of January. And he went after the 5th of January. So the people said, no, if you have, we want your passport. And he refused to give his passport.
I think Costa too, and that's what I'm saying. He needs help. There are a lot of little mistakes along the way.
His luggage down and came back in town. The Liberian go. So after now, when he came in town, so the Liberian government said, okay, since this man have been boasting that they don't know where he get, and they realize that the stem what it is, and laissez-passer was fake. Want to investigate how he got it. And I will tell you, the government can take long time to investigate anybody. You are in the United States. You know how long it takes FBI before they bring somebody to book? You guys are here. I want you to preach the law. You are in America. Like the other brother who came and said, Joshua, Donald Trump said all kinds of nonsense about the opposition. Is he not president of America? So if Joshua criticized the opposition, what a big deal.
But then, yeah, is the deal here. Before I bring in the next person, that the government becomes sort of intolerant to their citizens expressing their grief, and like I say, I just do not agree with some of the voices and tone coming from Aaron Costa, because he's taking a very major role, and so there are certain things when you do, you have to confine yourself and also live within the confines of the law to get yourself conducted properly, to have that sort of credibility. There was a lot of mistakes on his part. And unfortunately, is people did not kind of give him the advice or counsel they should give him, and that's very unfortunate.
You know, when you guys talk about Henry Costa making mistakes, you should have known his past. Okay. He's a man who blacked me. He's getting Ellen Johnson. Ellen Johnson sent him to prison 2 times. He has been as rude in Ellen Johnson's administration as he was in George. So what mistake is he making?
Then George Weah knew that. And why George Weah to embracing?
Because he's a citizen of Liberia. So now you are saying George Weah is wrong to embrace a citizen of Liberia.
No, but I'm basing your statement on his behavior with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, which I know that he was very vocal. He was saying so. Do you think he thought you were going to be peanut butter and jelly with him, right?
George, I thought he would have changed.
Oh, okay.
No, he didn't change. But I'll tell you, who I just cleared into? Yeke Kolova.
Yeah.
It's just that he's so mentally deranged. But Yeke Kolova is the brilliant guy of all of them. From that January.
Wait, you mean he mentally what? When you diagnose it?
He mentally deranged because what he put out, you can know that he's not talking like a logical person.
Well, I've not had the opportunity. I'm still waiting for an invitation, but let's not be judgmental. Are you a psychiatrist?
Oh yes, of course.
Oh,
that's why I'm saying it.
Oh, okay.
Because I know his behavior, I read his body language, and I know his utterance. That's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
So, let's come to the point.
Yeah. So make a recommendation quickly to the government or COP.
What I would recommend.
Before I go to the
what
next
I would recommend.
Right.
I am positive. I also know there is an economic hardship in the country. We all know. But you think the best way we can go with trying to help is what we can put in, what we can like the government is willing to listen to people who have ideas. So where is willing to listen to anybody who have
ideas. Has he listened in the past?
Oh yes. He have set up committees.
What have become
opposition leader?
What has become outside? Let me tell you.
Let
me tell you before the June 6th, that did not come out. But we talked to people. George Weah is willing to listen, he as an individual, but there are some barriers, and that's why he needs to undo. Before this whole thing here, there was, after that, whatever ministerial meeting they set up, just literally before the Council of Patriots protest, right? The president called on some former experts, including Dr. Amos Sawyer, David Fahar, and other great, brilliant economists to put something together, right? That did not come out in the news. I'm just revealing this here to show that he's not listening and he's not doing enough as well. But Sawyer, Fahar, and all of, good folks that work in government were experienced to something. When they went, Nathaniel McGee blacked those people, and they waited hours and hours. They could not, he said, the president was aware of their going there. And those people waited. They never had the chance, hours and hours, to see the president. That's where Sawyer and other folks, they walk away and say, you know what, this is not what. Let me just tell you here before you make your point. You know, when government cycle is a different thing. It's a very unique. It's a society in itself. That's why when you are elected or when you become a heir, you gotta go against your way to get certain people to get certain things done. That was, for example, in order, for example, Samuel Dode, when he took over, you know why he brought Ernest Eastman? Because he already in the cycle of the international higher up. He was a known figure. He immediately made him foreign minister. Why? To sell his agenda. But if you have people like with a dark record like Benson Garfin is, and you have people like Mangi as a chief of staff, who's supposed to be the deal breaker, instead of being the deal breaker, he's creating barrier between the presidents and people that are supposed to get things done. It makes it difficult, and all falls on his shoulder. Make your point before I let you go.
Well, thank you. It's happening in Ellen Johnson's government. I don't even want to give credence to something that I don't have any proof of. It is what you say, but I don't know whether there is proof. I don't have proof of that, so I don't give credence.
We talk to people a lot, my man.
But I will tell you, like the June 7 protest, they went with a petition which they refused to deliver to present to the government. So that was the first step. I think you're all aware of that, but nobody wants to say the truth.
We'll talk about it.
Okay, the government, yes. But then this was the same Henry Costa that was leading. So then what if he wanted to give the government? If you went with a recommendation, the government said, okay, present the recommendation. You say no until the president comes down. You must see them. Is that respect to your government or to your country? But Liberians are not realistic. They are not realistic. And the only reason they are not realistic because of hate. When you hit somebody, there is nothing good about that person. That's the typical Liberian mentality. We killed Toba because of that. We killed Dole because of that. But the only reason Joya and now it's succeeding is because of social media. There are a lot of people now on social media who are counteracting all the destructive attitude. And until Liberians realize that the country belongs to us, we need to go and fight. The foreigners taking over that country, the Fulani dominating business, the Nigerian dominating. These people don't put money in the bank. Liberians don't know. The Fulani don't put money in the bank. So the Lebanese don't put. They take all the U.S. dollar out of the country. And how do you expect us to get money in the bank? Our own economy is not controlled by us.
Yeah, but how will you even put my money in there when they are telling me I'm not a citizen and when they can't even give account of the money that is there? So that insecurity comes into place. Let's be honest.
And the Liberian government refuse you running business.
But listen,
those are cheap excuses.
Oh, are you saying?
All over.
No, listen. No, that's
a lot of people from the state who are running good businesses in Liberia. The whole Camp Johnson was dominated by Liberians who living abroad.
So okay, here is the
what
deal.
You guys saying?
Hold on now. When you talk, let me talk. So are you saying recently and been time where when people go and get their own personal money, their government will tell you you get 500, you need to care 100. Is that a good monetary policies that will give me the courage to even go dump my money there? That if I want to take it, people will tell me, they will regulate me, take this amount, don't care this amount. Do you think does that sound right?
Look, my brother, in terms of economic hardship, this thing happened. It happened in Ghana.
I'm talking about Liberia. I'm not talking about Ghana.
Yeah, but no, I'm telling you, these are things because this economic hardship.
If they do it to you if that was done to you there was a depression here. There was a great thing you're making reference to Ghana and to Nigeria. There was a depression here. There was a recession here. If they did that to you, you're working 24 hours, and then time kind of say, okay, we're giving you 40 hours, we're giving you 10-hour pay. Next week or 2 months from now, we'll give you the other pay. Would that sound right to you?
Oh, I'm in Canada.
Yeah, if they did that to you, when they did that to you in Canada, you'll be.
And the government will pay me back. The company will pay me back because the company could not afford. So it's just that we don't have that system back home. That's what I'm telling you. We don't have it back. You make it. This is a developed country. Liberia is a developing country. You're making reference to a developed country to a developing country. Look,
we always make comparisons from time to time.
Yeah, but
okay, the bottom line here, okay,
because they are all developing countries.
So yeah, is
comparing Liberia with America.
Okay, so yeah, is the
because
deal.
America is Bafarian. Even during the depression, you know how many people lost their 4K or their savings.
It happens, but it goes there. But
all the big industry. People lost their home.
Corporations.
People couldn't afford paying for their home. You know, all of that happened in America.
Exactly. People
so
got.
About Liberia?
I understand people were downsized, but what I'm saying, if that is happening, the
so
government.
So
the government should. Hold on now. The government shouldn't lie that these things are not even happening as well, and the government must be able to be honest when we see these things here. Sometimes in your own side to bring in the next person here, they admit to some of these things and tell the people and the president, the country, the people will come or say, you know what, we honor, this is X, we are going there, but the government is doing everything. But if you can remain quiet and profess that everything is okay when things are not okay, then it's just being dishonest. Okay, my man, thank you so much.
That's not true again. The government have always said that they know there is economic. I have listened to the news. I have listened to Eugene Falcon who complained. He said there is economic. I have listened to the information minister who talked about the economic situation in Liberia. Why are you not realistic? Why are you not honest?
Wow.
That's the problem with us. We're not honest to our yes.
Okay.
I listen to it.
All right.
So
Thank you so much.
Let me just make my last point and go.
Yeah, no, you are welcome yet. I mean, we can challenge issue here.
We all agree there is economic problem in Liberia. For 15 years of destructive civil war. The only reason is the administration.
Your phone is breaking. Are you still there? Hello? Okay, I don't know what happened. Are you still there, 306? Okay, call back. I will still allow you to make your end your point. 401 number. Are you there? Sorry for being there so late.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, 401.
Okay. Sorry, I want to refer to the guy that was on the line, but I think, because he's a sedition and he's supposed to government, so he doesn't see anything wrong.
How you know, my man? I met a sedition.
I mean, but when you hear them talk, you know exactly, you know.
Okay, I see that one. All right, go ahead, man.
You see, the thing, like, the big problem is that the leadership we have, and in every African country, what makes it better is when you have a better president.
Right.
You see, Liberia is a small country with a good president who has passion for development in the country, will develop the country. You see, what the biggest problem that this administration has, I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yeah, you go ahead. You're live with us.
You see, this administration, they're not fair to themselves. You understand? My father is one of the lawmakers in Liberia, and the thing about this administration, when you come as a president in Liberia, first thing, if you want to be successful, if you're going to make Liberia proud, you have to respect the rule of law. I don't think this administration really respects the rule of law.
Somebody please mute your phone until I come to you, please. Yeah, go ahead, boy.
Yeah, I don't think this administration respects the rule of law. So because of that, people are not respecting that. So that's one of the biggest problems I see in this administration. And the second problem is the division in this administration. If you become a president and you let the public know and make the public understand that you're there for everybody, trust me, you'll win Liberian people's heart. But when you have evidence that you just for one side, basically, it brings a lot of division in the country. And I will tell you this, for this 2018 or 19, 2019, the division in Liberia, it was just too much. You understand? If you're not sedition, things don't happen for you. If you're sedition, you feel like because Mr. Weah is in power, President Weah is in power, so you own the country. You understand? And I think that's one of the big problems in Liberia right now. The division is just too much.
Okay, so let's pretend the president was listening to you, what will you say, or what advice do you have?
First thing I would tell him, unite the country first. Go back to them, let them know you have made a mistake in the past. You got carried away by your party, and you want to apologize to them and make them understand that you are everyone's president. And from now on, you will respect everyone. They don't have to be sedition. Everyone from all parties. You will respect everyone, and you will be there for everyone. Make them understand that. if it even calls you to call all the other parties and do like a little ceremony or party for just to unite, do that. You understand? And secondly is that you make it known to all your officials if you are there for the right reason. You make it known to all your officials publicly. Let them know we have done what we did in the past, but from now on, we are going strictly by the law. If you break the law, you will be prosecuted. And at least if they break the laws, get one or two examples out of them. Make them an example. You understand? Everybody will respect the law and do their duties. And you also set up a committee to audit, an auditing committee. You see, auditing committee is very important. And that auditing committee, you have to understand, they only report to the president. They shouldn't report to Nathaniel McGill because he will not get the information to the president, right? Or he might, get it to the president. Go around, make sure everyone is doing their job. You see, the president alone cannot be everywhere, we understand.
Okay.
But when everywhere know what the president stands for, they will be doing their job.
Okay.
And just to conclude on just on that Costa issue, I think we need to give Costa a little bit of credit. You understand? And I understood your point when you said he does things immaturely, which you were absolutely right. But you see the opposition. We have Mr. Bwaka, we have Cummings, and I was speaking to one of Cummings' supporters the other day. I said, you see, Liberians need to know that you are there for them. Once they know that you are there for them, they will support you. You see, some of the things that happen, we don't say Cummings should come out and make noise like Costa, no. But look, publicly denounce some of these things. Publicly, tell the Liberian people, it could have been better. You understand? Come out, make some strong statement. Let the because not all the people that are fighting Costa fans, some of them from ANC, they're from UP. They are your people. You understand?
Okay.
Come out and condemn some of the action of the government. That's what the opposition should be doing.
Now also condemn some of the action of the people that are advocating for them as well, if they're not doing it the right way.
Exactly. And another thing you said, I forgot about that. You see, the government, I wanted to make a video about it the other day. The people that advocate that are there for the government, that are speaking on behalf of the government, they are doing a bad job, very bad job. You see, government should always know that when you're in power, your reputation counts. So people that are out there that are propagating the agenda of the president or propagating the agenda of the administration need to be very careful how to speak out there, what they say. Like I was on one talk show the other day, a supporter of the president talk show, and this guy came out, the president should just kill Costa. If I was him, I would cut you off right away and condemn that talk. You understand? Because you don't want that message to go out there that the administration condone
Exactly.
or the administration condone.
The popular relation aspect is very poor. The popular relations and propaganda team is not. In fact, that's the difference with Helen Johnson. Helen Johnson have people that we said that it was well coordinated, and I think that's where they need to kind of spend a little time. You can't have multiple people to be speaking. If the people are doing it in a disorganized way, you as a government, you can't follow suit to do it. It makes it very difficult to get a message. All right, my man. Thank you so much.
So thank you again.
All right. Okay. 813 number 3382. Are you there? Let's keep it a little bit brief to the point. 813 number 3382. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mowa Bala. I call from Florida.
Okay, Mr. Bala. Thank you for being here. What's your take?
Well, first of all, I would say thank God Koska is back. But I got advice for him. I know when he arrived, he said no one should call him. He's resting. But I think he need to, one way or the other, mind his mouth. He talks too much. This is where you find him getting in trouble. He's a good guy. He's speaking for the people. But because of his mouth, you continue getting in trouble.
Yeah, people not advising him as well.
I listen to serious his problem. Now let's look at past statement he had made. When he came over here, when he arrived in Liberia, he announced over radio that, oh, he passed through immigration. He used documents that people are stupid and they are this.
Mm.
Based on that, people started twisting him around. Now, he went to Liberia to talk for the masses, to fight for the masses. Now he has left. So who go back there? He cannot go back there now. The government have the opportunity now to level allegation against him, which will be very, very, very difficult for him to go back. So those who he was speaking for, they are all vulnerable right now. You check when they started it, you had Cummings, everybody supporting them, but now you see Cummings quiet. He has political ambition from his statement that, oh, he can talk, he got good mouth, he talk.
And I guess that was one,
become,
and I guess that's one of the reasons these opposition put together to have him, because there's no question the platform, the outlet is there, people are listening, but they feel whether he was a pro help with guardians and help along the way, and he refused. That's a different thing. Nobody has made that known, but I believe that was one of the reasons to have him to be like their voice. In this, but along the way there was a lot of missteps.
Brother, the problem there, they intend. You know, Liberia will behave. They try using politicians, try using him, hoping that he was just there to speak for the masses. It's like situation like Taylor. When Taylor came in Liberia, everybody said, "Oh, this man is he just fighting for the masses." Only when he got setting stage, he said, "No monkey wear baboon jaw." I listen to Cosca, most of the program. I try listening, analyzing what he is saying. Go back to the opposition, listen to their channel, listen to what they are saying. And even when he's doing something wrong,
he talk, and he don't. It seems to be he has a limited skills of listening, because his interaction with his people that even work with him. Sometimes you on live video. All of these things counts a lot, but our people, they don't understand. And sometimes when you talk at his supporter, they get vexed. People that even work with you, they are not slaves. They not stay with you.
And listen, when it comes to certain situation, the verb we, he will not use the verb we, but he said I. I listened to one recent time again when people were advising. So, oh, when people come to my station, I will kill them. I have my men. I will do this. No, I don't want anybody to advise me. Those who were advising, he was insulting them.
It's unfortunate. I don't know.
Yeah, he's the problem for himself. He had to know how to talk. If you say you want to be Martin Luther King, they always say, "Oh, you people come, we're going to kill you. People are going to fight against you. We're going to do." No, he spoke for them. He stood for them. But to me, brother, trust me, how I feel right now is like those who were behind here betrayed them because they are dead. The way he could come out and speak out, people follow him. Liberian government, if Opon is after him, Opon will not allow him to come right now. They make him scared, and he ran.
Yeah, I think I strongly believe, even though there was a lot of threats, but I strongly believe if the government, you can't fight the government. I don't care who you are. You can be former president, former minister, government issues and order. They can arrest you. The people that are surrounding, I don't know. I haven't seen no any arm with them. So I'm quite sure. It's just that the government was struggling in really making a case because they have said multiple things and inconsistencies and all of that. But if they really wanted to arrest him, I think they would have arrested him. But they just some sort of fear and all of that. But, they didn't even do a good job too. And here folks did not really help him. All right, my man. Thank you so much.
All right.
Okay. Let me go to 678 number 2829. Are you there, caller? Hey, let us Samarica, good evening and welcome on this network. Yeah, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is Amos George calling from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, Pa George?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Pa George. Okay, I like you. You can put a nail on the head like I do as well. So let's start from the opposition side this evening, if you will. Where the mistake comes from, then where is your own disappointment? Then we'll drag it to the government side, especially the COP.
I think the COP, I said it last time, we need to go back on the drawing board. to recalibrate. There are too many missteps along the way. And no one group of people should feel that they can do it. No. It has to be a collective effort of those who believe in the principle of democracy, the rights of people, the right to seek justice, the freedom of movement, freedom of religion. So we have to go back to the drawing board and see where we made our mistakes. And one of the biggest mistakes I will speak about is to bring in everybody. Yes, we can disagree, but we should be able to come around a common denominator that will work with. But because if we are separate, we are divided, we will not achieve what we want, we will not reach our goal. It's very difficult. So that's my first advice to the entire opposition and the COP. Let us go back to the drawing board. Let us put our ego aside and look at the bigger picture, which is Liberia, and see where we can galvanize our support to move forward. And somebody said, they say Henry Costa is rude, yes. But so I always say this in here. Like the people say, when you're about to talk to an audience, you got to know the audience you're talking to. That since this generation, the 90th generation, what I have noticed is the use of profanity of this generation to get the point across from all over. That's the trend now that growing up in Liberia now. That's what you see. If people say something, it doesn't cost. It means that they are not getting the point across.
I know,
Because
right?
so look in the House of Representatives. People they're cussing. I mean, real cuss. And they feel that's the only way now they can get a point across. Then to the leader goes on, I will slap the ball. I'll wait that girl. Is that a language for a leader of a country to be speaking? No. So you see today, this is the kind of world we are living in. People using the profanity to get the point across. But we don't have to go that route. It will not help us. And I know Aaron Costa can be my son. He might be listening or he's sleeping. But many times you have to be slow to speak as a man. Certain things you do, you only keep it to yourself. Sometimes it's not for public consumption at that particular time. And this is what one of my advice to him. Certain things you don't say at certain time. You don't think some of the things we see, some of the things we hear, you think we can talk it? We can't talk it at a certain point. You can't say it. Not that you're afraid, but the timing. So this is what's happening with the opposition. I'm asking everybody in the opposition camp to take a step back and to recalibrate and look at Liberia, not an individual. Now on the side of the government, I call him the most, as he called himself, the most smartest, sophisticated counselor in Liberia, who's on your show, Councillor Cephas. Look at the work they did. Look at what they did. There's a man who are on your show boasting that he's one of the best lawyers in Liberia, in Africa. The best, as he called himself. He was the same man who was masterminding the arrest of Henry Costa. He told you on your show that they were doing everything. When he come to Liberia. That was the word of the Secretary General on your show.
Correct. And I pointed that out.
So it tell you that Henry Costa arrest was premeditated. And that could have been played to the international community. If the Solicitor General is seen now, we're just waiting for him to arrive at Royal International for he will see. It means that the action was premeditated. So there were many factors that they did not take into account. If you say that Henry Costa illegally entered the country, so are you saying that Mr. Costa is above the law, or there's a special treatment for him?
Or was it a fear that were in government that if he had been, as they allege, that he had committed a crime, but they refused to arrest him? So it means there are certain people get free pass, and when they do something wrong, and other people goes through the law. That's not right.
You see, it's not right. So to tell you that they did not have anything against this man, because if they had something at the point of entry, they would have told Mr. Costa, sir, your document has a problem. When you get to Monrovia, we want you to report to the immigration services on this date. If you don't want to arrest him, notify him to bring his counselor upon arriving in the city. You didn't do nothing. You stayed there 3 weeks, you say, oh, he was busy with protests. Really? As a government? Someone you allege has committed a crime. You say you were busy with protests. You were doing his business, so you didn't want to invite him, really? No.
Okay. All right.
So I just want to leave on the final note.
Yep.
Mr. Costa, arrest, and you're just more talking to you. The last final thing is that the vice president. Let me say this, Mr. So. The Pope can go to Liberia. There will be no peace, no trust between the vice president and the president. Let me tell you this. That covenant is broken, no trust.
But these are things the opposition is supposed to rely on, and when they're saying it, they should lay their voice down, be more persuasive, be more convincing, but they're also doing it with anger, yelling, screaming, and cussing and abusing. It kills the relevance of your message.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. Things that you're supposed to sit down and analyze it, put it out there in sequence. They're not doing it. But I just want to say this, Mr. Soul. You see, in politics...
Please, lawyer. Caller, please, lawyer. Hello, please, lawyer. Hello. Okay, I think they are keeping conversation when they're ready to call back.
In politics, this is why you don't do. You do not destroy your base. And I always say this. The vice president destroyed her base. But I don't know what she will play on. You went to your country, and
Okay, please, lawyer, monitor. We're hearing your tone. We're hearing a lot of voices back there. That's what I have to turn it back. Okay, I was on breaking. That's okay.
You went back, you told the people, if they don't join you, tell the president to take his development to a different place.
She finished forgetting. She told us that they are trying to eat. I'm trying to find a video for some reason. You finish eating, your own eating finish now. You want other people eating, you want can't complain.
She's from my own country, but I always say that she destroyed her political base. Now you see how they're treating her. You didn't know these people they married or not married, were married by convenience.
But,
you don't know them.
Okay, quickly, but yeah, Mr. Joy, Pa Joy, yeah, is the deal here. This is a tough one for CDC. Believe me or not, Joy Howard Taylor still has on a base too heavily from the low-fi, from the bone, and its surrounding. So it's quite fascinating now to see how this is going to play out as to whether Dr. Weah or the CDC people will still stay with her or whether she will go on a ticket. I think that's the $1 million question here. Okay, Pa George, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
You were facing in Bon County. You were facing in Bon County.
I know what time you can even Atlanta. You said you had a trip timing. I know, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk that off record. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And when you come.
Okay. Okay, 763, please hold on down. I haven't got a lady call here. They are our sisters, our mother time. Let's just say, a little before gentlemen, right? I heard a little voice here. 405 number, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, I think that's the first lady calling here. As most of the time, with the man, we've been talking here. So, let's give you some executive privileges here this evening here. Tell us what is mind-boggling, what is disturbing you, what is troubling to you as a Liberian from the CDC, I mean from the party, from the opposition, from the COP. Just what do you want to tell us? Where your disappointment lies?
Yes, my own thinking that my disappointment in the government here is that this whole thing that is going on, like the senator that just left the line previously said, this whole thing about Costa killing, it was pre-planned. And after 1 year, I even got information from Liberia before Costa could leave that if he arrived at RIA, he's going to be arrested, and it's going to be something else that's going to be led to his arrival for the protest, number one. And Costa did not give up, and he feel his way and went through for the sake of the people and what he willing to do and he vowed to do to speak up for the people. When he got there, he got into his own country, and the immigration talk about the issue of his document, the lesson per se being forced. Took his document, scan it, I believe, because any going into, they should have the machine to scan the document, send it, sign it. And Costa passed through this process and got into his own country. And Costa was not arrested at the time and said, the license person having is not valid. And then he entered into this country and stayed there after weeks before when he was about to arrive, and then this issue came up. After going a lot of talks with the president, going out speaking, president to come against him to saying his own thing, going at the citizens, the peaceful citizens that protested against him, refused to come and accept their petition, and they end up sending people on the street to remove these people because they made up fire and they decided to eat, for them to eat. People right in front of that marshal, they can roast cassava, they can roast pumpkin, they can fry kara and every other thing in front of that same marshal right in front of every, and we see it every day. And they don't stop people from making up fire, but the group was there, decided to get food to eat because they were there having their
But do you think?
protest.
Okay.
It was a crime that day.
But do you think that was a?
Okay, and this there and they was removed from the street because of that reason, because that was the reason they get there, because they don't have right to carry copper on the street and made a fire. And we see roasted cassava all along the road, corn all along the road, and they don't have problem with that. Okay, after going through all of that, they turn around and they started holding and putting with Costa because of this document, went ahead and stopped the man from traveling, which was also infringing on his rights as a Liberian citizen to live in the country, and then he stopped the man. And the government was wrong in that way by stopping Costa from leaving. They had no right. After staying in the country for all of the time with the simple document and decided to come back, and then you stop the man after every other thing being meditated and being masterminded by people that you got in the immigration, all because this is an opposition to you. Let's look at the fact. Now stopping there, 13 days man went in the chest. The public said that if he wasn't a president, he would have grabbed this little child and beat his boy 2 3 times, gave him 2 3 slaps on KRSP, and then walk away. As a president, if even somebody come and say something as an opposition, always maintain your dignity. But the president went to that extent and made that remark, which was a threat to the name by grabbing him. If I wasn't the president, I'm going to beat on him. Now stopping that fact, when Costa lawyer took him to go and meet the council about this document, the lawyer said he was not satisfied. They went there, but because of the borderline language from the people and the kind of armed men that was on the ground and the action that was carried on.
Yeah, but okay. To that point
satisfied.
too. Listen, to that point, I understand. Government made mistake. Costa and his folks too, they make a lot of mistakes. When they call on him too, when they ask him to go, if you say, and we have seen what he, let us be real here. He had some good case. He had a really genuine case to constitute or to continue advocacy. But I think he needed some help and directions along the way. If they call you, okay, let's assume, this is a circumstantial that they want to arrest him, they want to do this. But I strongly believe if the government run into effect and an arrest on Costa, they were trying to figure out, but they were cautious as to whether they were going to do it or going to be right. Because why? They have had inconsistencies in their decision. Some will say they were arresting, and then Minister Council said they were not arresting. So they were trying to find a way. But when they call him to immigration, and he said he was calling on tens of his supporters to go there, then of course, let's be honest, then of course, in the government, if you calling on tens of supporters, and you have maybe less than 50th immigration officer, that means 10,000 people are going to swim. They were going to they were going to seize the whole immigration down. I don't think that was the kind of call he should have made, to call on his people to do it. He gotta, be tolerant sometimes, Do you think that was a right thing to do? When they call you, when they have that, they call you, say that go, then you say, okay, you're 10,000 people, you let go, you can't meet me there. If you say that, obviously, government gonna, security gonna beef up. Do you think he was right to say that? I don't know what wrong with her number. Caller, are you still there? Okay. I'm not hearing you. 405 number. 763. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Okay. I'm not hearing her, so maybe she need to call back. Just disconnect her, then she can call back. Go ahead.
I thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, these things we shouldn't we shouldn't incite ourselves as emotions and say because I'm of this person party or I support this other government, I don't support this opposition, I support it. People incite their own personal things into this whole thing. I don't think that is right. This is all about Liberia. We gotta be very careful, and even when we support the opposition, when the opposition is doing it the wrong way, I think we must have the guts to say, yeah, I support this party, but this XY policy is not right. I support this government, XY thing the government is doing is not right. But more or less, we all pledging loyalty to this individual, and so when they leave in, our institution collapse. Go ahead, my dear brother.
Thank you for having me on your show. My name is McDonald Flomo Nyako, calling from Minnesota.
Mr. Nyako.
I listen to a lot of people talk about Costa, he's immature. And I want to compare the two group of people. I want to compare Costa as an individual and the government of
As
Liberia.
an institution.
Of an institution. My brother, let's be realistic. Number one, let me start with the government. It's about government. The government is very immature. Number one, George Weah, in utterances, is not mature. He don't speak like a president. He have made a lot of mistakes. Number two, the government has a lot of spokespersons. One of those, the oil contradict themselves.
I have said this over and over. They're not listening.
Number three, putting your first letter on our budget is not constitutional. It shouldn't happen. Number four, Senator Jackson is in London representing Liberia. The president refused to give his document. This is not good for our country. In my instance, a lot of people die in Liberia. The government are not done nothing. They are not investigated nothing. Our girls, our mother have been raped in Liberia. Government have not done nothing. No investigation on anything. You understand? Besides, our president who told all the government, ex-general that was they saw them during the protest. This is not correct for our country. The government have done a lot. They have done a lot of things. This guy, Morabalu, compare Morabalu's statement he made of our president. Statement from Jamaica Koji. All the guys are very, if you put it together, Costa is by far better than the whole government. I will say that again. As an institution, he proved that Costa made a lot of mistakes. I agree. We all make mistakes. Mr. So, trust me. Even in our home, sometimes we shut our children. We're not a good parent. If you advise your child or your worker to start doing things over and over, they couldn't do things over and over, you get something emotional and shout at them. I talk about when you had when on his show, the way you talk to some of the supporters. You understand? We all have our boss. What guy came and shouting about Costa, he's not a presidential material. I disagree. Costa, he is a presidential material. Because let's do that Costa going to contain 2023. We have 4 more years for the 2023. How long it takes for me to money himself? If the people really mean well for Liberia, if they really want to go against this government, it is time for our big guys in Liberia that we know they are not popular, they are not doing well for the country, they don't have the country at heart, they can start money this young man, and we are in that process. Country can be more than 4 years from now is a long year for someone to be transformed completely. So we all have our differences. My brother, Costa, he has been doing for the Liberian people. I believe Costa can be a very good president. Before you become a president, what happens? You come on with your platform. You come on and tell what you want to do for the country. When he heard your weird platform, during the whole campaign period, he didn't tell what you're going to do. So that I don't even blame because he didn't tell what he's going to do when he became president. He didn't talk to nobody. But trust me, if Costa wants to become president for Liberia, he will come up with a platform. We look at his platform and see his intentions. You understand? I agree with you. There are some mistakes along the line. Sometimes we talk too much. I agree, but as a politician, you gotta talk. Okay, you just have to modify talking. Not
So,
because you want to become president.
okay,
Not because you want to become president. So
so
when you talking, when you say let's say that's what I'm coming. When let's say you say that when you talk like maybe you say like 90% thing that is true and just make 10% mistake, then people come along on the mistake. Say the boy is rule. He is not doing rule. Because they are not rule. You understand? To every action, there equal opposite reaction. Even Charles Taylor during those days when Charles was president for Liberia, you will say, hey, if everybody call ourselves, you respect your man, if you on the street. He could say that it makes Taylor not be a good leader. He was a very good leader, but just because he came, the way he came to power, that will make it to be unpopular with the international world. Go ahead, sir.
okay, so from all what I heard from you, it seems to be something that I define on government, which of course you have the right. That's your opinion. That's your view. What is the ugly step, or what is the bad side of Henry Costa that you think is not good or healthy to the country too as well?
Well, you say Basa, I don't really know your
If I say
Basa.
bad, maybe some of his missteps that you think some of the things that he has said in the past or his approach to issues, is there any good thing or is there any wrong side that you know or not? I mean, it's up to you.
I don't know no Basa or Costa right now. Number one.
You hold on. You don't know. You don't know no Barca. No, hold on. I gave you.
Number one, people that Costa is rude. No,
no, I'm not asking people. I'm asking you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So when Costa said that he gonna drag the president, they're gonna have him like a market door. Do you think, even if you are oppositions, if you are critics of a government, do you think is that what you need to alter to speak out if you want to do it? Do you see that if you were an advisor to Costa and he said that will you go to bed sleeping without telling Chi what you said yesterday is not a right thing, will you let that go?
Mr. So is very good that we live in this vast country. People abuse Donald Trump. Okay? In fact, go to New York. The guy is started there and he's completely naked. We'll go laugh at him. If you're going to become a president, you have to accept all the different dead water. You know what?
Yeah, no, but abusing, Costa abusing that his last name, and I can tell you that. But there are some statements, there are some things that you made that are considered as threat. Even here in the USA, when you on your own Facebook page, if you write certain thing that has an imminent threat or poses danger to other people, do you know that security can even come to you to for questioning? You know that, right?
I agree. It depends the situation. I just told you.
So the situation is, are you saying the situation where the president said they're going to drag, Costa said they're going to drag and treat him like a market door of a sitting president, you don't see that as a threat? How are they going to do it? Peaceably that you're going to...
You know, Mr. So, I don't want to compare. Let's compare this thing and see. Okay, you say it's funny. How about Jefferson Cosi that said, "Wow, anybody venture?"
I understand, but here is the thing. This is the comparison. Yeah, I understand.
How about listen? How the president said, "Wow, if you're not president, you drag the president on. You go to run on the way to the street, Maria, and slap that president." Was he ready to say that? No.
Okay, so yeah. Listen now, here is the deal, right? It's very difficult, you will agree with me, and you can disagree, that's your opinion. It's very difficult to fight a sitting president. And I know this administration, they have made some silly comments and some stupid comments by the official. And are coming, including even the president has made some careless comments and people do not have the guts. Hold on. So, if I'm here doing it the wrong way, right? And you are advocating for the Liberian people, Alfonso there is not a right guy. He's doing this. So if I'm doing it the wrong way, will you go down that same wrong path that you want to make me to correct me and you want to project yourself to be the good person? Is that a good strategy?
I will not go that wrong path. But sometimes, as I said, to every action, the equal opposite reaction. Sometimes, let's say for example, when the people went to Costa radio station the first time when Honorable went there, Costa came on and said. He said that they continue to go to my place to destroy my place. They carry a lot of armor there. If the government cannot protect my place, he said, if the government cannot protect my station, I will buy my own gun and give the people to go and protect my place.
So how are you going to buy? So what do you think Costa was saying? What do you think you were saying? How you were going to buy a gun?
He was saying that, he said that the government refused to get protection from a radio station, our power government get the ex-government to
So,
protect and play.
okay.
He's right for that.
Okay, so he referred that. So you here, if somebody threaten you to harm you here physically, right, and say they're gonna, for example, we're gonna kill you or whatever, and I understand all of these frustrations, the inability for the government to prosecute and bring to a full conclusion. All of these, I get all the 15 million, the 16 billion, I get that. But you trying to bring changes, you trying to introduce, you trying to make the people to believe in you. So if they are doing it the wrong way, do you really need to go down that gutter? If they are even swimming in a swamp or in a slum, do you think you want to go there? I think for those of
Yeah, you don't have to go in that wrong way or in that direction. That's why I said again, and of course, I'm going to repeat myself. If Kwame want to become president for 2023, he get a long way to.
And I'm talking about a president. I'm not talking about a president, Bindi. I'm not talking about a president, Bindi. I'm talking about some of the things he's said. And for some of you, his supporter too.
That's not everything we agree. We agree that he's going to make some mistakes. We agree that one we are working on him seriously so that those mistakes can be eliminated or can be reduced.
But you're not even willing to admit then. You're giving justification. That's where everybody continue to stand their ground, like Texas law, stand your ground. You're giving justifications of his action.
No,
and then when sedition come here too, they will give their justifications of what the president does.
Mr. Saul, the man said, if you talk to the president, that one I just told you, you know what? I cannot great told.
I understand. I've sought great Moluba Molu this and that. But hold on 1 second. Let me bring in somebody here not to keep this person bored with some rapper. 704 number is that 7? Yeah, 7040586. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Albert.
Can you speak louder? We're not hearing you, please.
Give me 1 second, please. My name is Albert Ross, calling from North Carolina.
Okay, Albert, you've been listening to the interaction with my brother, and I believe you are listening to other callers and their comments, their statement. Let me just bring you. Where do you stand?
Well, I stand on the unfolding happenings in our country. It's a pity, it's saddening. But again, the government of Liberia is not prepared to be mature, ready to be mature, to take that mantle of authority and lead for people. And the reason for which I'm saying that is that you cannot to an individual. That's just one person. You cannot go every other thing and put all your energy and strength and everything behind one person because you want to get at them at all costs.
Right.
All right. Costa is just one person who is standing in the gap of oppositions in that country because we got political party in that country. We got a lot of political party in the country. Their leaders are not speaking out the ills in our society. And being a young man who was in the vanguard during Marlon Ellen Jones at this time, when CDC saw him as a hero then, they shared him. Everybody was, oh, Costa. Ola Mbolu, Carlos Gray, Jefferson Kochi, all of them were in one bed. But today the CDC, so it turned into war. All right. And to the last caller that was just speaking, if people are looking at Costa to be a future leader, he needs to listen out.
Exactly.
To people who love him and advising him. Because we cannot say George where is this, and you have not reached that height yet, and you seem not to be listening to anybody. You know, you got to humble yourself. Just like you were saying, two matters a lot. Words are powerful. You got to filter your your wording.
Everything you've been saying, they are on videos. People see it. People
You
are
got
saving
to
it. What make you
filter
think
what
say
you
they're not
say
going
out
to
there.
come after you with it?
All right. Costa is one person that I'm not pretty sure it's about popularity anymore. George Weah have brought Costa to the map. Costa is on the map. There's no question about that because that's what George Weah wanted, to bring Costa on the map. Costa don't need popularity anymore. Even if you go into any of the villages in Liberia and ask the 3-year-old child that can pronounce well, they will call Costa Negro you. All right?
Okay.
Internationally, locally. So if Costa is thinking in the direction of leadership for our country,
which, of course, he's thinking. He said he's going to contest a 2023 representative and then potentially a president. But if you want to do that, you need to start grow up like a big, like a man and start wearing pants instead of wearing diaper. Because other than that, people going to die. You're going to die. People going to come at you too. I mean, in as much you are advocating, and it doesn't mean when people are advocates, we're going to allow them free pass to do some silly things along the way. That's a sovereign nation we are talking about. So, I mean, we have to be very objective here. And if you support the guy when he's doing the wrong, get the guts to stand and tell him, say, hey, you are heading ahead of your shadow. But we don't want to do it. That's the same denial that the seditions and some of the same denial there's opposition. There are people doing it the wrong way and they do not want to speak to that. I don't think that is fair for our country. Thank you, my dear brother.
Mr. Can I come in a little bit to conclude?
Yeah, conclude. I'm sorry, bringing 919 and 701. I will soon be wrapping up.
Okay, what you say you are 100% right. Okay, we are 2023 is true. You want to contest to go in the house. Costa is in a molding stage. We know there have been some mistakes along the line. And I want to get assurance. I want to get assurance. Costa has come from Liberia right now. He will now start doing things differently. You'll become more presidential than even being a senator or representative.
That why he told you? That why he told you? He said he can't be more presidential now.
I don't know how to tell you that, but I'll just tell you about.
I just pulling your level, man.
You'll be more presidential than even being a senator. So when that time comes, you yourself will have to sell him to the Labrador that he will be our next.
When he's doing it the right way, I would say A. When he's doing it the wrong way, I would say A.
That's what I said. We still get long time. For now, 4 years.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get a long
yeah, but my brother. But my brother, let me.
He needs to start being presidential now. I don't want him to wait until when the time comes.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're coming to you now. Quickly. Yeah, quickly.
So another thing we need to understand, my brother, from you said you're from Minnesota, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we cannot build an empire where tomorrow we'll still have to go through the same problem going through today. So it is now time you who speaking like the way you're speaking, like you really love Costa. That's perfectly fine. You know, I mean, I like that. But you cannot love him to the point where you're going to mislead him to do the worst thing, and you think you can support him. Hold on for me. This is the same problem we got ongoing in Liberia. You know, it shocks me when I see a Carlos Grader on Facebook posting, and you know, I already sit down some of you that I go back to those days because you are not in power. So the rest of the people who are not up there, they're not important anymore. It's all about you and your family. You see, and our country is a small country, very small country. Somewhere, somehow, somebody who is closer to you might know me or I might know them. You know, we are all connected some kind of way. We are all, the country is too small. The population is less. So, just like Mr. So is saying, Costa can be a very fine candidate if that's what he wants. But I'm not sure he really walking that path at this time. I really appreciate everything that Costa have done in our country.
Okay, we can have two of you. I know we can put up a ring here. Hold on. Let me bring other people here because I can make a boxing ring here. I'm coming to you. Let me bring 701 number and then I'll count to 423. I think these are my last caller for the night. 701, are you there? 2661.
Yes.
What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Fuller Moses. Cameroon and a call from North Dakota, Fargo.
Okay, pour life in that voice there a little bit here. So let me see here.
All right, Mr. So,
Maybe you beat it. I don't know, match commissioner or for this game that on right now. So
no, I
yeah,
don't be my,
you want
I
to be
won't be my commissioner because I will take a side.
oh you don't want to be match commissioner?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like honest people. Okay, go ahead. Let's get your side.
All right. So it is sorrowful that we hear Liberians speaking this too. Then when people come to that kind of show, it's good for all to be objective. One like that you said, if we are not objective, we make dictators because we present people to be the best people when they are not.
Exactly.
In all fairness, you and I know we stay in this country. There not a single Liberian or a single American that will stay all of America and say, I will come to America, I will dread and join in the streets of America. You will treat in the market door. And then you enter this country, you come to this country, and you are not investigated by security or you are not invited by security. Try that in America. And people come to this platform and still defend and say government is after Costa. Costa sat in America, used threatening remark against the president. He said he would drag the president in the streets of America, Liberia. He will burn down our newly renovated or our newly constructed airport. And they see Henry Costa. There were rumors all over. I was one of those who believe that if Henry Costa was going to Liberia, he was being arrested. He went to Liberia. He brought people there. He took people to the street. They impeded the movement of other people. And he never got arrested one day. So I want one of our colleagues here to convince me. What the gather crew, what the basis of government were arrested Costa today that Costa is laying up and then say if government targeting government after he left. When Costa was being singly arrested just by entering the airport for all of the terrorists that he used against the president and the rest of the Liberian people. So guys, it's good for us to be objective. We agree that Costa is now the wonder ball, the hero today. But be careful. The hero today will be done the parliament tomorrow. So
can I respond to that?
Hold on.
Yeah,
No,
brother,
we're not gonna. No, hold on. Let
question?
somebody. The guy. You make your point. Let the man make your point. In your closing remark, you can do it. Let me talk to the other person. We're not gonna do a debate.
Yeah. So, Mr. So, just want to plead with Liberian people. The bad image you see all the images you see, and those are yes, that president we are in the government. It affects the former Liberian people, the ordinary Liberian people there. And then I say, very clear, Costa is my Costa has his for Kirispa. I come with Kirispa. Costa does not have the moral rectitude to discuss what he's discussing today. Costa won and down with Bena then we exploited our country. And this is the Costa that the Liberian people take to people today. When La Henry Costa condemned the U.S. family and say you got this SYZ. So let us try and start misleading that, but we sit there and drink fresh water, our people dying with hunger behind there, and you talking about customers about Costa going to Liberia to be a president. Costa got kids now to go to Liberia, he going and push on the international wire that he been wanted to be targeted. So as he's going to go back to Liberia, he had to go to Liberia and answer to claims against him before he can be vendicated to go to contest the election. So we didn't go back to Liberia to go contest the election. Are we daydreaming here? We need to be objective with Liberian people and be fair.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my man. Let me come to a 423 number, then I will give you 30 second. After the 423 number, then I will come back to you and give you 30 second each to wrap up, to make your case and your recommendation. Maybe you can do it one more minute. These are the last caller for the night. 423 number 3134. Are you there, caller?
Yes, good evening. My name is Warren, and I just want to, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Thank you for joining us. Welcome.
Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on the topic. I mean, I just came across your show, and this topic has really woke a lot of people who like some of us who don't really speak on these things, but. I think it's a shame, it's a pity that our country will still be in this stage where the law enforcement and immigration and errors to allow nobody's like Aaron Costa to gain points on them in such way. And you can't blame nobody but the government themselves, because they are not stepping up or doing what they're supposed to do. And what I tell people all the time is that when they come up with this argument about, oh, the government is this, the government is that, and all this stuff, I ask them, I say, so if you're trying to tell me that if the person's father is irresponsible, does that give the child the right or okay to also be irresponsible? Because let's say Henry Costa is a child of Liberia. If Liberia government is not stepping up to do what they're supposed to do, then if Henry Costa is out of line, then that's some of the arguments that their people and his followers are carrying on. You know, a country that has officials that are not doing all that it's supposed to do to uphold to justice, that does not give anybody this excuse to be the outlaws. And that's exactly what Henry Costa has become. He has become an outlaw who does not want to be a law-abiding citizen of the country, because he claims that the country is not upholding to or being accountable for their wrong. And I find it very, 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 very sad, very shame, very, very embarrassing. You know, that, I mean, as a proud Liberian, you know, stepping out there to tell people that you are a proud Liberian and this kind of stuff is going on, you know, you got to talk to. It's both sides of the table. But Henry Costa, to me, was dead 100% wrong, and the Liberian government should have done more to make him accountable, just the same way he is trying to hold Liberians to be accountable to what the government to be accountable. So I mean, Mr. Alfonso, I think you said it. You said it right. So I think 2 or 3 callers ago, like when you said that Henry Costa wanting to be a leader cannot carry himself in the way in which he's carrying himself, because that's not an act of a leader. You know, that's not an act. And people who are following him and being his followers, they are the ones who are blind loyalists. You know, of calling this man a hero or this or that, when just a simple thing as a laissez-passer issue. Then they're claiming that the Liberian government has turned this thing into a big issue. I'm sure I follow Liberian news every day. Liberia, like the government, they're focused on other things. They're not only focused on this Henry Costa stuff. So we who are outside of the country, we see it as if that's all the government is focusing on. Those are the press, the press and the journalists who don't have no other major news to report. They don't want all over social media carrying on this stuff. And because we're all on social media, we see it and we think that that's the only news that's going on about Liberia around there. But you check on other news outlets. Liberia, the government is doing other things there other than focusing on this Henry Costa stuff, you know. But the government needs to do better.
Yeah, but the government is her inability to allow their narrative, their talking point, or whatever proper agenda to be changed overnight and waste their time too. So that's where people goes where the news is. Because even if they were focusing on the positive side and focus on kind of kept that focus in place, it will be better. But they themselves throw themselves into the mud. That's why get us here to be where we are. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, let me give you guys final message here. Your final point, 1 minute, please. USA 1 minute, and then Liberia time 1 minute. So let me start with 763 number 4884. 1 minute, your closing remark.
Mr. So what I'll tell you right now tonight, for the time this president came to power for the past 2 years, the most effective case in Liberia is Costa and laissez-passer, which are observed from the president, from the government. Costa and laissez-passer is more important than the death of Martin Inez, and he died in Australia. We don't even know what killed him. His laissez-passer business is more effective than they put our first lady on our national budget that will benefit Liberians. His laissez-passer business is more effective than putting the tracking number to Freeport, and then let's continue. Okay, so this is the most effective case in Liberia. Costa and laissez-passer. Mr. So, here's my question to you. As a Liberian, I don't have laissez-passer at all. I go around in my own corner. Will I be deported for Liberia?
So why? No, hold on one second. No, you need to stop. Liberia is not a banana republic. Whether you are born there, if you are entering, you know why you need to something, because that's where government revenues come from. We need to understand that. You have to get your travel. Hold on. No, so.
You are going to my 1 minute. Go ahead.
But you asked me questions, so how? Okay, go ahead.
No, talk. I want to tell my 1 minute. When I'm done, you have a show. You come and address my issue.
Also, that one, the question you are asking, an introductory one, not part of your 1 minute.
My brother, let me tell you that, my brother.
So, okay, hold on. We'll start with 1 minute. You know the reason for us here on LPR, we believe each and all of us, our comments, our saying, we must also be held accountable for what we say, not just on the government, not just on the opposition. So are you saying, because, Hakami, are you saying you want to tell me because you are Liberian, so you just get out tomorrow, you will go to Liberia? Is that what you're saying? And you are, I don't know, you are in the U.S. or where are you?
I speak from Minnesota.
You speak from Minnesota?
Yeah.
So where is the first okay, hold on. Where is the first protocol? Don't forget your 1 minute. These people will wait. I'm to doing here. What is the first protocol if you want to go to Liberia? What do you usually do?
I need to go to Liberia with documents.
What sort of document?
Okay. Yes. If I get a laissez-passer.
No, hold on. Forget about it. Laissez-passer. What is the first protocol when you want to go to Liberia? What do you do?
It depends. If I'm a American citizen, I need to send a passport to New
Okay,
York,
so which category? Let me give you a choice. Which category you want to be in?
I'm a Liberian.
You're a Liberian.
Liberian, yeah.
Okay, so okay, yeah. So what do you do?
If I want to go to Liberia, I stamp in my passport when the stamp expire. I send my passport to New York for the stamp. I'll maybe go to Liberia.
Why you can send a passport to New York?
When I was, according to what you said, government generate revenue.
And according to you?
What you say?
No, you say according to. I don't want you to call to me. I want where you think.
No, you say I send my passport to New York.
For what?
I'll pay 200 and change. Government state that will give me another day or 1 year to go to Liberia.
Okay, then what next do you do?
So I'll leave about plane ticket, go to Liberia.
Okay, the plane ticket, do you pay for it?
So I don't really give 1 minute, man.
No, don't worry about your 1 minute. Even at 10 minutes, I will give it to you. Do you pay for the plane ticket?
I pay my plane ticket. I pay my plane ticket.
Do you go to the hospital to get your vaccines and all of those things? Do you do that?
Yes.
Why you think you're going through all of those things?
To be prepared for going to Liberia, to be prepared for traveling.
Besides the prepared, why you think don't you think it's a prerequisite to your traveling, even though that's your country? Don't you see that as a prerequisite for you to go?
It's a prerequisite to my traveling.
So then why you think any other person should be exempted through that process?
No, you see, right now they show you are misquoted me. Oscar went and got a laissez-passer that was illegitimate. I want to give my own example. He went and got a laissez-passer that was legitimate. For the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
He didn't tell you where. He didn't tell you where. He never disclosed where he said. He said, "What I got it from Guinea. I got it from Peru." He never told anybody where he got it from.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the minister said, "Wow, the level was legitimate for the ministry."
How do you know? How do you know?
Because the government said it. They booked it on legitimate, but they said. And they said they were forged.
So,
they are kept for 3 weeks.
So don't you think they have all right to question that?
But will you believe that? If
I don't know. No, what I'm trying to establish here, all of us. I am not saying what the government did. There are a lot of mistakes here, but we ourselves, we have to be law abiding. If I know that I didn't do anything wrong. In fact, nobody, he cussed at himself. Nobody put finger in his throat. He began to start talking a lot of stuff, and then, start talking. That's all helped to get us to be where we are. So I am saying, if we want to hold government accountable as well, we must also be held accountable. We can't try to bend the rules, and we're saying that government, we try to pick on the government, and we can't speak to those things. Then I think that's not being fair. Go away 1 minute now.
Mr. So, this is the process. Then our brother left from here. When he got his laissez-passer from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, he got it from Ghana to go to Liberia.
Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not in Ghana. Liberia Ministry of Foreign Affairs is not in Ghana.
In Liberia. I said in Liberia. He got a letter from Liberia. Okay? And he did it from Ghana to go to Liberia. He had a send inside everything. Okay. He got to RIA. I believe the government is a government. All their workers, they are mature enough. They should be able to identify faults. Why is we identify on the 19th of December? You couldn't identify it. Why don't you identify it after 3 weeks later? Do you take a whole no water? The government should drive a case against Costa. You know, because you can't keep a document for more than 3 weeks, then you say that it's false. Why sure? Why don't you change it? You know, so the government should have a set belief. They shouldn't have no case against that brother. They should drive a case to go and the government in an error. When I comment wrong, you won't wait for me to after 3 weeks, you can't to give me no. You must do it right away. When you got a RIA, you should have been investigated right away. They will say the government.
We understand, but listen, okay, let me bring the last person. All right, thank you. We understand the government should have acted on, but at the same time, we want to tell you there's no status of limitation. You in America, you can be called in anytime for questioning. We see some things takes over a year. We got to be honest when we come to this discussion, and we are not helping the country. That's part of the problem. We try to empathize a situation with people that we think we want to support, and so we all come and do stuff. But anyway, that's your opinion. That's what you want to say. But we have to make people to know what is right and what is true. Okay, folks, I know time is spent here. 704 number here to make a last point, please.
Yeah, Mr. So let me just start by, commenting on the discussion. On the laissez-passer issue. So again, we come back to the issue of the laissez-passer. The government is in an error. They got no point, they got no reason for even inviting Costa. The issue is that's not a passport. And we don't have that technology in Liberia that we have here or all of places. The laissez-passer is something like you just use a group and stick a picture on it. Costa came over counterclaim. That's not his laissez-passer he used. How can we verify who is saying the truth or who is lying? So the government should just let Costa be and let him leave the country peacefully. So they make it seem like they're coming after him, they're trying to wish on him. That's why it seems like, because if you kept the passport for about the laissez-passer for 3 weeks, where you just got a group, you got a piece of paper or group over it, you validated the laissez-passer. Oh yeah, this is our laissez-passer. Costa do not work at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. All right? So you should start your investigation since you got the serial number. I guess I know you used a laissez-passer before, but I guess you have some identification number on them. Go back and say whether they don't all it or I don't do it there. Go back into the ministry, find out who handled these things, how it left, who issued it. That should have been your investigation. That's where you should have started an investigation from. They find they kept it for 3 weeks. They make here, they put an entry, they didn't raise red flag, like, oh, laissez-passer, this is the issue. But there's the one that way. You kept quiet. It was okay. Except when the guy came on live video to say, oh, I didn't use my passport because it was going to be seized. Then that was a crime he committed. A lot of people objected here. The government is witch hunting Costa because of George Weah. Some of us know George Weah personally. We don't want to go there. We don't want to go personally with people. But the government is doing this on purpose because that's what George Weah is recommending, and that's what he wants to be done because he's the president. He's not wrong. In his own view as a person, George Weah not wrong. So let us leave the whole laissez-passer thing. My interest in the discussion today was Costa working on himself, like you were saying. if he's looking at leadership role in the future, Waller president, vice president, town chief, parliament chief, he needs to work on himself.
Okay. All right.
And to the government of Liberia, to my president, George Manuel, we are well on that. He's my president. I'm a Liberian. All right. He needs to stop these things. I mean, the whole traveling documentary, of course, they're not the first person we're talking about here. There are people who are victims. Not because you somebody have arguments, so you should start to try to tamper with that traveling document, try to restrict that movement. It is unconstitutional. You can't do that. On what ground are you doing these things? There are a lot of bridges. Of course, I mean, the government had. I mean, I don't think the constitutional library is ever functioning. If we come to that, because there are a lot of lapses. If we try to count them, we'll not leave from here tonight. All right? Has the government thought going her process and sat down and try to reorganize herself? Like, the mistakes we make, we need to get back on path. No. They're not just we are then thinking. They just want to get their thing, and after that turn, they leave from there. That's all. They're all hustlers. They're all hustlers.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your post. 701 number. What's your final point?
So thank you. My final and concluding comment is that I want to inform the rest of the Liberian people and our police here. There's no way a person's we are going to wish on any Liberian because he's been peaceful. He's one of the most peaceful presidents I know that Liberia have ever produced. Trust me, Costa behavior today could not be a behavior yesterday, but later he had been incarcerated and language in jail. And let me just dispute and debunk those guys who say the government kept Costa laissez-passer for 3 weeks. Why would we want to be very unrealistic here? When as soon as Costa entered the country on the 19th of December, it's on the 20th of December, the laissez-passer was posted one talk show once and the Sheikh and Sheikh Sherry or Sheikh Sonny.
Can Oliver Kant, they posted out on Freedom Radio.
Yeah, they posted Henry Costa entered the country, well, laissez-passer. And then the laissez-passer was issued to Henry Costa on the 6th of December. How is it possible for Henry Costa to have been in America and receive a laissez-passer for Ghana or Liberia? So the laissez-passer have issues. The government of Liberia need to investigate this thing. Subsequently, Henry Costa has very said one on his talk show. We need to be objective. We're discussing our country, Mama Liberia. It's not what we found ourselves today, but we need to be sincere with our friends and who we love. Henry Costa himself had a talk show. He did not debunk those guys say that the laissez-passer you got posting up there is not a laissez-passer enter with. If I he admitted, yes, I'm clever, I'm more smarter than the Joe, I'm smarter than the whole government. I thought they thought I was giving them my passport, you can get in there. It's laissez-passer. The issue of Costa, laissez-passer issue became an issue when laissez-passer expired on the 5th of January. He decided to travel on the 10th. The issue was not brought already by the government. He went to the ticketing line. When he got to the ticketing line, when the guy saw the paper there, the laissez-passer said, no, sir, this document is expired. You can't travel. You cannot travel with this. We need to be fair here. That's how he blew out of proportion or anything that will not travel over. Moving forward, where Costa is knowledgeable enough, moving forward, where that little laissez-passer has expired. Why he decided to travel on it? That's one. President Weah is very peaceful. I'm going to say this here. He got no reason to wish on Costa. If the government wanted to have arrested him, Costa, they should have done that ever since because they have enough evidence against Costa to have arrested him. 2, Costa marched to his station. That station was closed down. I been on see when he bought the light, he moved in there.
No, that's not true. There was a leaker council. Yeah, they had a leaker council. After that incident, when government forced that, the lawyer, the judge that assigned to that case, reassigned that. They went through the proceeding. Before he got to Liberia, there was a defense. He had a defense team, and they went through the case, and that's how the lawyer opened that. And it went the president. They ended up removing that lawyer. So that station, there's no way that he can bust that. He did not bust that. These are things people also say out there. They don't even know how it happens. So he did not forcibly bust that. There will be no way that he could have done that. It was under siege.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
lawyer, but what the president did, they ended up removing it. So the current lawyer assigned to that case is still under revision. He got to start it all over. That's why you see him is continue to sit behind that banner. It's still being closed, believe me or not. The whole COP will not be going to be hosting press conferences and all of that there. So the case is still under revision, assigned to the new lawyer.
Okay. So, okay, I agree with you, Mr. So, but if government like wanted to arrest the cost of one thing, the international community, everybody negotiated with COP and the RCOP. The period was then get a specific date, and the COP decided to defy the rest of the world, and the Liberian government say we will go on this day. They went on the street. Our executive master that somebody said when one caller said, yeah, I don't know which war she come from. Say Paul Rose said Passau before LIBERIA. I stand to be correct. I know one last 11 Liberia. That you go say you having Copa and all that thing to go. But in an event, the government like broke by arrested Henry Costa. Don't tell me Henry Costa flew from what they are. But the government is not targeting Henry Costa. So let's be knowing the Liberian people to us as Liberians. As personal players, not targeting Henry Costa, but the culture infinity in Liberia need to stop. Forgery around the world is a major problem. We live in America, we know what forgery means.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much. All right. Well, folks, that does it this evening. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPRO TV. I want to thank all of my callers, participants, viewers online. This is your most one of your regular programs, All Things Considered. We are here to discuss issues always as it relates to Liberia, and we want us to do it objectively, with open mind, with the benefits of our country being the beneficiary. Not necessarily the stakeholders or these political parties here or even oppositions, because taking a holistic approach to this thing here, it is the countries that want to be benefited. So we must understand wherever we say, to my final point here this evening, we have Liberia as the only nations, is our sovereign nations. That's what we have to our point. And I strongly believe this whole thing here is just being screwed up. The government screwed up. Mr. Costa himself screwed up. But it takes courage to speak to these issues, to get the guts to speak to it. Because if you are taking on the sovereign government, which of course any citizen, anybody who is within the advocacy group, you have the right to do it. But it comes with responsibility. It comes with responsibility. And we must understand that if we are to hold government accountable, we ourselves, we as ordinary Liberians and individuals and citizens, whether you in or out, it comes with responsibility. So you must do everything. But I strongly believe those that surrounded Henry Costa, his folks, the COP, and some of the supporters did not do him due diligence. As he was going there with some mistakes along the way in his advocacy business, there was a lot of missteps, and nobody had the guts to tell him. And because of that, kind of opposite reactions on the part of government as well, makes them to go wrong. Because Serena Cephas admitted here on this network that he was on an indictment. And when you know, I know when somebody is on an indictment, we know the implication. And then Eugene Fagon, Mr. Laosi, came out, validated that. The Minister of Justice came out. The Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia said no. Now you have multiple government officials, including the deputy spokespersons of the government of Liberia, making the statements without being coordinated with the Attorney General, who has the constitutional authority to prosecute anybody that violate the constitutions or the laws of the land, to say no, he is not. That created a vacuum right there, and that was one of the reasons gave Costa the courage. Because he said, no, he's not wanted. He's not, there will be no arrest. So they cannot come back. But that itself to Costa, it comes with responsibility. You can't be in this game and continue to be making silly argument or silly comments as well. Then you too, you must be held responsible. And that is very saddening. He has no business to go as far as it is. He went. Okay, whether you get your, and I know he was taking all necessary measures, but at the same time, it should not defraud the government revenue as well. So let's assume you went through the process. If they even throw it out there on the social media as you believe, as you allege it was, and let me just show you this fast as what he said.
So they published my document. I came to the country on laissez-passer. I didn't enter with my passport. You didn't know they had planned. They wanted to seize my passport. So they were waiting for me to present them a passport. I now get them passport. I get them laissez-passer. They read it. They said, how they make man to get it? The whole ministry, they investigating the embassy in Ghana. You don't even know where I get a laissez-passer from. What are that from Guinea, Ghana, Nigeria? Oh, I know I entered the country. I reached the airport. I get them laissez-passer. They said, oh, they expected me to get them passport. You think I'm stupid so I can see my passport? I smile at y'all, I smile at Joey, I smile at Tway, I smile at all of y'all. So now they go get rid of that picking who can be imitating me because he said the CZ Costa. So you now post my laissez-passer on Facebook. So that one I was in now. Dana government document. That government, when I ready to go again, they will not see passport. I will get a laissez-passer. If Joey will be there, sir, because December 30th, Joey are going. So maybe when I ready to go.
Okay. There you have it there. So the person who said he got it from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and you come here, that's why we question you, because whatever you say, we want to also hold you accountable. We will not just only hold oppositions or government accountable because we make some careless statements, and those sort of insinuations also help to exacerbate the already falsehood that is out there. So I don't think it was necessary for Costa to have gone that level with him. And the government, instead of it being proactive, they were more reactive in addressing the issue to say that it is. So if they knew very well, as a government, a certain government of a sovereign nation, they would have began immediate investigation, having it was after it came out of himself to say, oh, they don't even know where I get it from, blah, blah, blah. You are begin to investigation to see that laissez-passer, who processed it, whether the money was paid, whether there's a flare receipt, whether that $20 went to government revenue, where it came from to have tackled the root cause of the whole thing. They didn't do it. They become more reactive because they tried to get Acosta, and they didn't build the defense thing, the prosecutor, the government prosecutor. They didn't build their case. Serena Seaforth was yapping all over that they're going to do it. And I think that was a wrong approach they took as well. And that's what got us to be where we are. But it does not mean that if it is done wrongly yesterday, people should do it. Or because other people travel to Liberia. I am more concerned of national security, not necessarily of Costa alone, but I'm also concerned how many other non-Liberians, if somebody can do it, then imagine how many of people, of course, it does happen, that are carrying Liberia traveling document. They can enter that country as Liberians, and we do not know what they are entering with. And that was flaws on the part of the government of Liberia. They need to address that. But instead of the government of Liberia to take their time to investigate, to gather all their facts and bring it to the Liberian people and be more convincing, to be more persuasive, to give them the reason, if there was any legitimate reason that is strongly believed that he Costa to illegally enter that country without proper traveling document that it was obtained from somewhere, then the government has to write. But instead, they quickly, hurry, decided to, quote unquote, say they're going to arrest him, they're going to do this to get us where they are. And this is why we received the biggest slap from the Sierra Leonean government to say, well, if you're stupid, we are not stupid. First of all, you're rewarded these war laws. So it seems to us, we Sierra Leoneans, there's no laws and order in the country of Liberia. But we do have here. And because there is no charge, criminal charge, according to the Sierra Leonean law, right? There must be a criminal, you must be criminally charged of a law before they can turn you over. That wasn't done by the government of Liberia. Costa last visit, they were calling him to make statement, to talk to the lawyer, but there was nothing tangible that we see coming from the government to constitute criminality against Henry Costa. So turning over that he's a wanted man or he's a fugitive, it doesn't add up. And that's one of the reasons the Sierra Leoneans decided to refuse the government of the Republic of Liberia. And Costa is the free will. Now, the $1,000,000 question here is, what is his future within the COP? What is the next strategy? Will COP be relevant? Will presence will still be felt in Liberia? Yeah, three possible scenarios that I'm thinking, or probably if they want to see the absorbent effective. I want to see good things coming out of Liberia, and I will also give an advice to the government to do it proportionally to also get that idea. There are two things that they need to do. If COP wants to be relevant, cast that with now, I won't be surprised the manner in which he left the country. It creates a suspicion. It gives government the reasons that indeed some fraudulent act took place, even though he feels threatened, but now it gives the government the lead. So he's going back. The government will be the one to decide that. But in terms of keeping the COP more viable, probably this is what I'm going to see. I believe he's going to designate somebody, or the COP going to recalibrate and have somebody to be designated as head of the COP, because in order to be relevant, you have to be physically, your head have to be physically present on ground to talk to the people, and even for government to allow them to be some sort of pressure group or to be more engaged with this international community. I strongly believe Costa is going to give way to have somebody to stand as a head in Liberia, and more potentially, he could be like a spokesperson in the USA. That's how pressure group work. Opposition, they have some opposition that lives in exile. That's not a crime. And the reason for that, they dare to mount pressure on the government, establish contact with a certain government, see them as an envoy, see them as a negotiator, lobby with senators, representatives, and other stakeholders out of that country to see that their institution can be felt. We have seen tons of organizations that they have their spokesperson in the UK, in the US, in the Netherlands, and other places. That's why I think potentially he needs to do if he wants to be relevant as a COP, or COP wants to stay alive. He has to be like a spokesperson. He has to be disciplined. He has to be a little bit savored in his talking point. He has to be persuasive. He has to make the people to believe in him, things that he's saying, they are genuine, and he's not being a little bit personal, so that it can be so personal or that you are so antagonistic of an individual, but you want to be antagonistic to the ills in society so that you can effectively address them. That's the only way COP can see yourself relevant. That's the only see. For the side of the government needs to be proactive instead of reactive to situation. The government of Liberia, under our constitution, the status of the Ministry of Information, Culture and Tourism, is the official spokesperson of the government of Liberia. In extreme case, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs, when it comes to sovereign nation, more or less intercede. So the Ministry of Information needs to be mature, needs to go back to the status of the late Carlton Carper, Emmanuel Buya, Moses Washingtons, and all of those people, where when the ministry speak is being respected, where the ministry can listen, where the ministry can build her case and be more factual and not be so combative, because you do not want to hear a particular citizen who perhaps have issues or who expressing some concerns about the government, and you want to be reactive to that. The government needs to work on that. The Jefferson Koji, the Moluba Molu, the Akara Gray, they need to focus on their responsibility. If you are a city corporation, your job is to make sure the city is in tight, sanitary-wise and everything. You are a lawmaker. You need to be putting legislation together. You're not the official spokesperson of the government. The president needs to understand that if they want to succeed. But I'm saying this, from what I'm seeing, if the opposition, if they cannot pivot the direction to talk on the issues in a very civic manner and become more persuasive to the Liberian people, 2020, we don't even know. They are talking about no money. We don't know what other elections, senatorial race will be. There are 15 seats at stake. Out of that 15, only one senator is retiring from Grand Jury. It means the other 14 will be contested for. If the opposition, if the COP, the advocacy, if they cannot solidify their position to begin to have people to put forward for Liberians to see who to be the next senator, it's a prelude to 2023. If they miss this 1 year, forget it. George, we are going to win. The CDC-led government going to win. I know people will say they're not going to do this, but I'm telling you, what is happening right now, if you cannot provide genuine alternative as to COP, Liberian men get I do not trust Liberian electors. They get a saying that say it's better to know the angel that you wave than the devil that you are not saying. All of these little rules and here and there, they are impacting other people, it resonating with other people. You cannot overlook that. If the opposition cannot expand her activities in the 15 political subdivision and they just think they're going to sit down in Morovia and waiting maybe the eve of elections to be active, they're going to be a big surprise. And I hope as the 24th legislature sections return to section, I hope Moluba Molu will be called in to provide more explanations regarding that tip. These are some of the things that people do and they get away with it and get our country to be what it is. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. As usual, Liberia is first. We are not for, we are not against. We speak it as it is, not necessarily to tell you what you need to know, but what you want to hear, but what you need to know. So if the government do it the right way, we will say it when the opposition is not on the wrong path to see herself as an alternative to the Liberian problem and as to how they're going to build the economy. I want to know how they're going to downsize employee or whether all of the tons of people that are supporting the oppositions, whether they're going to add into government again to increase the size of the government, like in the case of CDC. All of those things are yet to see then. I need to know up to this time they have the collaborating party. They have not even signed a memorandum of understanding. We are in 2023 is election time. So when will we know who's going to be the top of the ticket? What time does the Liberian people have to effectively vet that person to make sure, again, that we do not raise another unknown giant, a country giant, to become the broken giant? That's what we did. We did not do due diligence. We did not do proper vetting. We brought in the giant. Giants usually destroy things in the city. Now they are raising another unknown giant and people do not want us to ask these tough questions. No, we will ask. Small, big, ordinary citizens, we all must be held accountable of our statements, of our comments, proclamations that we made against and for our government. We got to put it to check if we want Liberia to succeed. I want to thank you so much, and I hope we are extending an invitation to Mr. Costa to way before even the Joneses. The invitation is still open. We are sending an invitation to the government of Liberia, Deputy Director Moses Carter, and that's the frustrating thing about it. They become more selective which network to go to talk or what sort of question style for people to ask them. Unfortunately, this is not a day of ELTV, Sherman Brown yes or no contest. And so sometimes we call some of them, they want to know what sort of question we should send question. You cannot pre-arrange my question. I want to have an honest conversation, genuine one, and give you the fair shot to explain to yourself. Because something might pop up in our conversation. So there is no way, no any journalist will want to restrict themselves. They will not want to do it. It's unprofessional. But it's going to be done proportionally to give you the chance to respond to questions that are going to be asked. But to send a question, it means I'm creating a status of limitations on myself, and that's not something I'm prepared to do. But in Windows, we still leave it open. Hopefully that will answer our call and come to our network. It's important that we have this conversation. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. As usual, I'm Alfonso Z and so tomorrow is Friday. The Liberal Progressive from Sacramento, Samson Blocko Brown Tour, will be on tomorrow as usual with conversation with Samson Tour. I want to thank all of you. Again, please, regardless of your status, whether you support the government, you support the opposition, COP, or whatever it is, let us make Liberia first, and let us just bear in mind you are doing it for the Republic of Liberia and not necessarily the individual, because these people, they need to start building the institutions that it will be sustained. So even the COP customers start thinking about somebody who you will start training now that will be authentic, that will be genuine, so that tomorrow, for whatever reason, he decide to retire and stuff, the person will step in the gap. It goes to the government. I'm not seeing anybody at CDC building, oh, now, after George, we are, whatever they say, 12 years, 15 years, who's going to come in? They are waiting. When he all done, then that's the end of the party. Then they reframe the party again now to different thing, like in the case of Unity Party. After Helen Johnson salute, I can vividly say Unity Party is in turmoil. You saw the position statement recently by the chairperson. Was he approved by the standard bearer? Joseph Boyka is still quiet. These are some of the things: lack of courage, lack of leadership on the part of our people to speak on hardcore issue, because they simply do not want to be affected at the poll. They are not willing to take an ultimate gamble of critical issue. They are all quiet right now. That is dangerous for our country, and all of us must frown against it. Thank you so much. By the way, you can watch LPR TV if you have a YouTube. Just go to YouTube. In your YouTube bag, just type in Liberia Public Radio, and you have the opportunity to watch LPR TV live. And just click subscriptions, and that way you can it will save your data, or whatever way you can watch it. Perfect audio, everything great and perfect. Go into our inbox. If there are some issues that you think, or things that we need to improve on, things that we need to do, you can send a message, or going by going to our Facebook, LIB messengers and inbox, or even individuals, and tell us. Or we just demand some sort of mutual conversations and dialogue. And this is why when some people call in here, when they make some careless statements that require that is hair scratching, I cannot go into that, because you can't just come and make statement and think and walk away. Like other men say Henry Costa, the boss they play. Where you get that information from? People don't research. They're lazy. They just want for people to babysit them and give them oatmeal. We don't give people oatmeal here. We don't put diaper on people here. Only grown adults, men and women comes here for information. I want to thank you so much for being part of this program. Until then, I will be back here Sunday editions of Freedom Watch. Join the Liberal Progressive of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV for more programming tomorrow. Again, unconfirmed reports said Mr. Henry Costa has left Sierra Leone, but that information is yet to be authenticated. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
Mother-in-law, father-in-law,
brother-in-law, brother-in-law, my neighbor. I say my best friend that I can confide in, my best friend that I can tell all my secrets to. I put my trust in my best friend so much, he went to medicine man to kill me. Went to medicine man to spoil my destiny. They will try, it will never work. The Bible said, greater the sin that was in me, that he that was in the world. The Bible said, no weapon of fashion against me shall ever prosper. That's why they are men. They are not God. Don't conclude my case. They are men. They are not God. Don't conclude my case. This is Minister Yvonne P. Carey, put in the Sheen original lady second time around. I don't have food to eat. Tomorrow I wake up to the poor. I don't have clothes to wear. When God bless me, I'll bless people. I don't have money to buy. When God bless me, I wake up to the poor. I don't have place to sleep. Tomorrow God will give me houses. So don't conclude my case. Don't conclude my case.